Boop. Okay, that was weird. Hello, one. Give me one. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. Thank you for the lurk. Good dog. I haven't even started doing my whole spiel. One moment. I also have to pour my water. My cup. I don't know if y'all can hear me pouring my water into my cup. Sorry if it makes you go pee. Get fresh water. Okay. So, I was supposed to be streaming DBD kind of yesterday, but it never happened, and I wasn't paying attention to the time while I was playing my little my time at Samrock game. Because I was trying to figure out everything in that game. And let me tell you, my god, I think my head might explode. And I have the heater on, which is making me. So I turned it off. Oh my god, is it that digging a hole game that I saw Markiplier playing? Is it that game? Yeah. Right. Yeah. I saw it and I was just watching it. I I forgot how much anxiety it gives me watching him. And it's like, no, do the thing. Do no that thing, the other thing. I forgot how much anxiety it does. Me watching other players. Oh, but it's fun. I'm sorry if you hear my fan. I am, you know, lights on. So I wasn't gonna stream until later tonight. Later yesterday, because I had a thing for Kenzie where we went to her orientation of her new school. Because she got into the thing for the best for the music thing. I don't want to give. The last time I had her talk, she talked about her school and everything, and I had to private that VOD because there's only so many schools with the name, you know. And then when I wanted to upload it, I had to edit it, and then I had to, post it after editing out all the names she said. And then I had to go and download another VOD because my mom said my actual name. The one. On accident. So, Kenzie plays the trumpet and violin. But Kenzie, she also got in for both. Which my mom, not violoncello, I'm sorry. Cello. Something about violin. Because my mom's friend was talking about it. She was like, my friend's kid got into it a couple years ago, and she was like, it is hard. She was like, it is hard to get into that program. And the fact that Kenzie got in it twice means that she is fucking good. And I was like, awesome. Now, are you guys ready? Here's the statistics I can speak. I graduated high school. I thought about going to college, but someone dashed my dreams on that. But so there are a total of 42 ninth graders who were allowed in this program. Now, there was over, I do believe, I do believe that there was over like 200 people who tried out. And only 42 of those got in. And Kenzie is one of those 42 people. Of those little ninth graders joining this giant high school. And it blows Kenzie's mind. Because when she saw those, those numbers on a page, she was like, what the fuck? I'm one of them too. Because she was like, there was a lot of people who tried out. She didn't believe she was going to get in because of it. And she got it. It is sad she had to choose only one. Are you good? Do you need help up? No? Okay. But I am very proud of her. Me and my mom had a conversation about Kenzie's parents. For those who don't know, Kenzie is a orphan, technically, but she is in my mom's legal guardianship. She has been since she was roughly 2 years old. My sister, her mom, and her dad sadly passed away. Kenzie was rough. She wasn't even in school when her dad passed. Her mom passed when she was in kindergarten. So it's just been me, her, and my mom. And me and my mom were like, if they were alive, they would be making such a ruckus, trying to make telling everyone, about her. And I'm like, and they would be so extra, especially now that she's going to go in high school. Like, they would go insane. They would be her number one supporters, just like we are. But, mm-hmm. I will forever be proud of her. Now we get into the game, and I lose that proud auntie privilege now, so we can get into the game. Still gonna be a proud auntie, just dimmer now. The stream must continue. Oh, also, so Kenzie's teachers were gonna put her into honor classes in her old school. They're like, for ninth grade, we're gonna put you in honors classes. So Kenzie signed up for all honors today. My mom's like, are you sure you want to do this? This is gonna be really hard. And Kenzie told her, she was like, my teachers were gonna put me in it. I don't know what you want me to do. She goes, I would have done these, at the other school. I didn't want to tell her that the other school would have been less difficult for her because she doesn't have, everything, else going on if she was going to that other school. baby. I don't know if I want to open that. We will get to that though, voice, when we get there, which is in like another like 4 years, maybe 3. She's going into 9th grade here. We got 3 years. She has already decided what she's going to do. Now, end of the summer is ready. Also, people let it slip that the program she's in, every 2 years they will be, going to Europe every 2 years. And in between those 2 years, they will go to somewhere else that is like New York or something. And all I'm thinking is, the fuck? Alrighty. Onto the story. Or else I'm just gonna keep talking about my and how proud I am. I'll never get tired of that view. Oh, okay, hold on. Yes. So, honestly, they're both. This is mom. This is mommy. And this is mom. Pussy wiggles. I only know that because I do believe that she starts calling her Ma. In the second part, I think. Don't remember. Anyway, I'll never get tired of that view. You stood beside your moms, Lizzie and Cove, as the 5 of you watched the sun dip into the ocean somewhere far, far away. You like to imagine it cooling off in the water, resting itself before getting ready to shine brightly again tomorrow. That was a fun day. I didn't know they had magicians on the shopping street now. Neither did I. Oh no, we are so dull. Let's get out more. You didn't do real magic, Mom. How did you figure that one out? 'Cause I know. That's not what real magic looks like. Oh, Lizzie dear, there's all kinds of magic in the world. Lizzie gave Mommy a suspicious look, but didn't dispute the claim. Looked over at Cove, who hadn't said a word since you started home. He didn't look upset, though, just content. You're aware he still hadn't quite warmed up to your parents. Well, we can't sit out here all night. Time to hurry home and get cooking. Who's helping with dinner? Lizzie immediately let out a groan. Mom, summer's almost over. The protest was obvious. You could practically see school on the horizon. You certainly didn't want to spend your last bits of freedom cooking dinner. You do that any other day. Please, can we just play a little longer? We have to keep playing before it's too late. It is almost over. You put on your best puppy dog guys. Doesn't mean I want to, but you plan on going home. You put on your best puppy dog guys. Oh, don't look at me like that. See, Mom. Like what? Soon we'll have homework and reading to do. We can't do work now. Lizzie made her case and then stomped her foot into the ground. You mimicked her, feeling that would add something to the argument. Well, oh, come on, Pam. I can help you with dinner. Mommy leaned in for a hug, and you knew that you were very close to victory. Okay. All right. But as soon as dinner's ready, you lot are coming inside, understood? Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom. Cove, dear, you're welcome to join us as well. You grinned at Cove and nudged his arm with your elbow. You gave a non-committal shrug to your mommy, which she took as an agreement. So much to do, so little time. Maybe I could still get this seashell bracelet at Tines and trinkets. Ooh, or maybe the playground, or the fireflies will probably be coming out, right? Don't I get to saying this? You suddenly made your own plans. We can't go too far. Going home. We can't go too far. Lizzie pattered at you as you pointed this out. Mom said to be back in time for dinner. It won't take that long. Oh, Jamie. Strong as the wind made you shiver. Lizzie huffed as she wrapped her arms around herself. Doesn't this wind know that summer's not over? That's all it said for erupting, turning on her heel and heading off in the direction of your mother's. Off in the direction your mother's had gone. Where are you going? I'm going to my room. I have lots to plan if I want to make the most of tomorrow. You thought this over, looking off towards the water again. Lizzie didn't wait, and before long she was disappearing off down the road. Meanwhile, Cove was going the opposite direction, heading for the beach. You followed Lizzie, you stayed with Cove. Cove gave you that. I can apparently not speak today. Cove gave you a smile that you couldn't help but return. Cool. He made a little gesture that you interpret as follow me, and then started heading to the waves. Cove knelt down, picking up something, quickly identified as a smooth rock. He rolled his arm back, then tossed it out into the water. You were impressed over how far he got it to go. It sailed way out into the sea. It was a good toss. That was pretty neat. Wasn't a long throw, but he didn't care to try for that. The rock kind of sunk like a rock and fell back down almost right after he tossed it. Let's do that. Deciding to join Cove, you searched nearby for any rocks or shells that you could throw too. And it seems my mouse has died. Yep. Awesome. What's up? Oh. Oh, let's go. Goodness. Keeps you for one moment. I broke my mic. It feels like I'm new at this. Every time something doesn't go right, it's like I still am learning. But apparently, you'd think after, I don't know, how many years have I been streaming now? 3 years. 3 years I've been streaming. 3.5-ish years. Ish. My first game. I will tell you my first game. You wanna know what my first game was? That I streamed? It was on my Xbox One. I saw my Xbox One here. And it was, wait for it, Cameo. Where you play as a elf fairy trying to save your kingdom. I look that I love the game, and it's mostly because, and hear me out, I can't hate it because my grandmother gave it to me to play on my Xbox 360. It was the first game I played on my Xbox 360. So it has a place in my heart for me to play it, okay? She got me that and Viva Pinata. Reading it out loud to stream? Yes. Playing it? No. So we got off course because I talked about my first stream that I did. Which was so long ago now. Oh god. 3 years is a long time. Boys does. He does make me go off course a lot. On purpose or not, I will never know. I have to sneeze now. Oh my god. I think I'm good. There's only two. Normally they come in come in threes. I thought I was about to sneeze again, so I just waited. And it just kept building up and then stopping. You can feel it coming, but it's not coming. You know, it's... I think me and Risa should switch dragons if that was the case. Because Risa has people who need to give her money. It's a joke about how Cookie and Grim are both in her debt. Grim, I think, is like $20 in debt, and Cookie's like $69 in debt. Okay. I'm gonna reread this. Deciding to join Cove, you searched nearby for any rocks or shells that you could throw too. You found a shell that would suit your purpose, a smile growing as you tossed it as hard as you could. It landed with a wet-sounding thunk a few feet away and slipped down into the water. He looked over at Cove. He didn't seem to notice that his throw had been more impressive. He was looking down at his cast, scratching idly at the pink surface, even though you were pretty sure he couldn't feel it. His brows were furrowed, and there was a frown on his face.
It's not fair.
She does. It's not fair. I've had to wear this cast for ages. I can't even swim. When do you get it off? How'd you get it? Uh, should we ask how he got it? Or should we ask when he gets it off? I was jet skiing. You were jet skiing. I know, I know the story, but I gotta be at least a little shocked. That's all my little child self in this game is probably thinking is, you were jet skiing all by yourself. Hopefully not, but you know. Little minds can only think so much. Really? That's not fair. Cool. Your eyes widened. You can imagine how bad it must have hurt, or how scared he would have been. He then continued to explain. I crashed. He just turned his arms to say, and this was the result. It's hard to believe you're allowed to jet ski. Well, I'm not. Oh. He let out a huff, plopping down into the sand. He believed summer's almost over. He sat down next to him and nodded in agreement, regardless of the sudden topic change. I don't want to go to school. I mean, I would. I don't want to go to a new school. I think I'll be the same school as you and Lizzie, but I said something about that. Cool, you're gonna like it. Everyone's super nice. You'd only ever been to the one school, but you were sure that his old school couldn't have been that much better. Then again, he did have to make new friends and meet new teachers. Could be kind of scary. Poe shook his head, then wrapped his good arm around his knees as he drew them to his chest. You heard a sniffling sound, and when you took a good look at his face, you realized that his eyes were wet.
I want to go home.
Well, thank you for reading it out loud for me so I didn't have to. I'm still gonna read it, though. I want to go home. Whoops. Double clicked. You never had to move before, but you thought you could understand. If you'd had to go to a new school all of a sudden with all new people, you'd probably be dreading it too. Even though you sort of maybe understood, you still weren't sure how to help. Okay, I'll see you later. Cove gave his head a small shake. No, I want to go back home. Right, Cove wouldn't go back to his old home. The one that's not waiting someplace far from here. The one he would bring up whenever he felt the sad. It had been a while since he had moved in, but he didn't seem to feel any better about being here. He settled back down into the sand, trying to consider what to do. You hate it here? This could be your home. It'll be alright. I don't even know which way I go. Do you hate it here? Kyle's brow furrowed even more. Kenny shook his head. He felt a rush of relief fill you. You like having Cove here. It would be sad if you'd been miserable the whole time. You're not gonna leave, right? You'll still be around? The question was still surprising. The question was a little surprising. I'm not sure if I read that right or not. I, zoned out when I read that. Of course. Your parents would imagine if you were going to move or something, right? He is not emo. After a second, Cove gave a little nod. Once again, my cat hoped we could go swimming. You're fine with him changing the subject again. Yeah, that would be fun. Cove smiled and looked back to the waves. But I keep saying I'll get used to everything eventually. That I'd feel better then. It used to make me angry. I didn't want to get used to everything. He sped a glance over at Cove and saw the anger had slipped off his face in favor of something most puzzled. But maybe that would be okay after all, as long as I really do feel better. I can't see it. You gotta remember, a long time ago when you first started going to school, you had absolutely not been okay with the idea of being away from your parents for most of the day. You listened to strangers tell you what to do instead of kids you never met before. Things changing is hard. You hold his hand. I can. I'll make sure you do. You're not quite sure what to say, so instead you reach out, take hold of Cove's hand. The one closest to you is the one in Sky, so you made sure you were very gentle. As you watch, Cove's eyes got a little misty once more. You got the feeling that there were different tears than the ones from before, though. Oh, next summer, I'll surf and go exploring, and everything will feel like it's supposed to again. You will. It will. The two of you sat quietly, just taking in the sounds of the waves. You hope that Cove will be able to accept this place as his new home. He definitely tried to help. In what ways he could. There were so many wonderful things here Cove probably hadn't even seen yet. Austin thought you started a bit when you heard a faint, familiar sound, the sound of your mom shouting your name. You looked over your shoulder, realizing it was probably time for dinner. Time had really gone by fast. You stood and dusted the sand off yourself. Mom's calling. It's time for dinner. You should come. Phil looked up at you, expressing screaming reluctance, yet ultimately, okay. When you smiled, Cove returned with one of his own. Jamie, thanks. It was nice where you were right then. Maybe, but the two of you couldn't stay there in your own little world any longer. You were being called forward. The both of you ran off towards your house, leaving the waves and summer behind. Ooh, I love that. That is so cute. That's why I said I probably could have gone up to that point. Maybe I'll do that for the next one and see how that looks like. Because you're still technically kids. You know? Now we get to change stuff. Let's go. Can't really change our eye color anymore. Or into which hobby. I kind of would have liked to, because some people get really tan in the summer and then not tan during the winter. I am one of those people. I am very pale naturally, but put me in the the sun on a beach for like entire summer straight, I will be tan. Mm, that's understandable. I'm gonna now change my name to Beanie. I can. And it will kind of give an indicator that I changed my name, I think. Possibly. Maybe. I do believe it's been another. So, we're 8. So I think it's like 4 years later. So we're 12, 13-ish years. My God. Stop. I'm changing it. It's not gonna look like Chucky anymore. You can say that looks like Chucky. We could go like a beige coat tone now. Be black. I do love the strands. No lie about that. The strands are very adorable. This is the hair that's supposed to go with it. Go back to the house. You look like one. Which ones? I'm guessing these ones, because these are the only ones that are coming on the top of the head. Oh, I forgot we can do the two-tone. You're welcome. Do it. We could do it. There you go. Red hair. I still only see Chucky now. Fuck. Look at all the colors we can have. Purple. Oh, you're gonna find something very funny. We'll change it to she, because we'll get some earrings. Should we give ourselves bracelet? Braces? No hair brace. Necklaces, hats, dresses. Guess we can do. Fuck. Glasses.
Done. Alright, since we're fond, should we go for Crush now on Cove? Now, let me tell you this. If we can have this, but next round, which would be the third part, if we go and hit the love, we will be locked out of things. Because besides Cove, there's 2 other people that we can romance here. I'm saying for the next part. We just gotta be careful not to press that. Should we customize both appearance and personality? It doesn't look too bad. I do like the shirt. It's the better of the two. The little lizards. Also, look at the scar. Give Cove back his glasses. We have 2 hairstyles. This one or this one for him. So this one, which is a little bit longer, as you can see, has some of the slight waviness, but this one has the waves in the front. Sorry, I'm opening something up. But it's a lot shorter in the back. Oh. Here 2, which is this one. This is 1 and 2. Ah. Ah, baby. Alright, that's about it. Got this, which either his PJs, which blue or purple shirt. Blue does look nice. I always choose the blue. And this I just leave it as is because that is a bright pink that I just can't stand. I'm sorry. If anyone else likes it, I'm sorry. I just can't stand the pink. It's too bright and in my Oh, let's make him sporty. Go in the middle. Yeah. Yeah. Go in between warm and moderate. Derek is the new one. Should we be fond or crush? Just let you know, we can't have two crushes. And trust me, it's funny. As soon as I said we can have two crushes. Okay. Ready. August ended, September began, and it was time to go back to school. Lizzie groaned and complained the entire first week. Jay going to classes. Still, there were interesting things to do that couldn't be done anywhere else. I'm not sure how Cove felt about it. He was enrolled that year. That was like a sign Cove would be staying in Sunset Bird for a while. At school, he was alright, but he kept his distance from the other kids. What you saw, anyway. Whenever he could, Cove stuck to you like glue. He didn't even mind that much when you did. Didn't mind that much what you did to pass the time, as long as it was together. Sometimes it was like things were exactly the same as when you had first met. But other times, as you got older, you couldn't ignore how the feelings had changed in meaningful ways. That year, the divorce of Cove's parents was finalized. You overheard your parents talking about it, saying Cove's dad got full custody. At first, you worried that meant bad news, but it made Mr. Holden cry, apparently. Then you found out it meant that Cove would keep living with his dad. He would only stay with his mom a few weeks of the year. Cove cried too, for different reasons, he thought. Seemed like Cove and his dad might move again, but Mr. Holden decided to stay after all. Mom asked him about it once. He said he didn't want to uproot Cove's life a second time. Mr. Holden tried to get Cove to like Sunset Bird more. He kept encouraging his son to go out and see the place. Sometimes Mr. Holden volunteered you to spend time with Cove, seemed very confident that was an effective strategy. Cove never talked to anyone about what happened with his parents and withdrew whenever it was brought up. It was hard for him, yet nobody knew how to help. Eventually, Cove stopped crying on his own. He didn't understand what had changed, but you hoped that you could help him feel better still. Even without the tears, he looked sad. Sorry if I bashed my fucking cup into the mic. I just wanted to take a drink. Oh. Full contact hatching. Yep. Maybe one day he could say out loud what he felt inside. After that, it felt like things had gone back to normal, except what was normal didn't stay the same. Years passed, and suddenly you were in middle school. You weren't a kid anymore. You were 13 years old. That officially made you a teen, even if your sister didn't agree. The toys and crayons that used to litter every free space in your room had been packed away somewhere, replaced by new hobbies. There were other changes, too. Those cats got taken off. It was weird to see him without it initially. Underneath the pink plaster ended up being a long, thin scar that snaked across his forearm. Cove's chest puffed out in pride whenever someone drew attention to it. He also went through a major growth spurt. He was the tallest in his class for 2 years in a row. Cove. There's supposed to be a will is in there. Coveville. Right? Coveville. Because this says Coveville. Right? It has a little apostrophe with LL afterwards. You know, I really kind of wish it did these all on its own, like, spoke it. So I can understand what the hell that even. Cove will probably hold that spot again next time. In class, people knew him for more than just being tall. He stood out because of how well he did in gym and other athletic situations. Over the years, he began opening up more too. He saw him talking amicably with other kids or neighbors from time to time. The short version of Covewell. And the only kid that came to the neighborhood, the only kid that came to visit the neighborhood when you were little, Shiloh, well, he was gone. He and his mom moved back south because of her work, just 1 year after Cove came to Sunset Bird. It had been really upsetting when he left. Lizzie was inconsolable for weeks, but nobody talked about Shiloh anymore. It was a long time ago. He learned some heartbreaking things, became less sad the further away they were, even if they had never gotten any better. That was sad in its own way. I had an itch. It's sad that Shiloh is gone now. Things at home were different too. You still lived in the same house and all that, but it wasn't how it was before. Ma dyed her hair purple, wanting something new. And liked it so much she kept dyeing it. You remember calling her mommy as a kid, but something like that seemed awkward nowadays. You were much too old for that word. Lizzie felt too mature for a nickname too. She insisted on everyone calling her Elizabeth, so you did. Your mom soon gave her permission to go places other than the playground and shopping street, which she took advantage of. Rarely saw her around the old neighborhood. In fact, she hardly spent time with you the way she did before. Elizabeth instead associated more and more with girls from school her own age. Maybe the difference between 13 and 15 was greater than the difference between 8 and 10. Start befriending new people yourself, like Derek Suarez. He didn't live in the neighborhood or go to the same school. What happened was his and Dad's Cove struck up a business partnership a few months ago. Since then, Derek will pop up in the area now and then. It seems Mrs. Suarez was happy to let Derek tag along to his work, if Derek had the time for it. Without a doubt, everyone and everything around you had changed, in small and big ways. You had too. As time went by, though, it was easy to settle into this new normal. Then, before you knew it, school was over and summer vacation had come again. It was the first day of summer vacation. The sun was as hot as ever, but you were inside, away from its harsh rays. To be more specific, you were snuggled up in bed, celebrating your time off by sleeping in, wide awake about to head out to enjoy your time off. What is this, a Disney movie? Don't know about you, but it is. Then the fine print. Make sure to slather on a generous amount of sunscreen so you didn't get burnt. You're looking there, setting the clothes you'd thrown on when your bedroom door opened without warning. The reflection you saw Elizabeth raise an eyebrow. Have you been staring at yourself this whole morning? Could you not next time? Go away. Good morning, Elizabeth. Ignore that, caressing her arms over her chest with a disgruntled expression. Clearly she hadn't come in just to see you. Your special boy is at the door, like he always is now. He brought some happy summer gift from Mr. Holden. Mom wants you to take it from him. Say thanks or whatever. Thank you for the hydrate. Did not like the way she called him your special boy, but she knew by now that saying so wouldn't stop her.
Come on.
So come down already. You're right there. Okay, fine. Really, that's great. I'm coming. I'll be there when I'm there. You're right there. Elizabeth said nothing else and left, having done what she was instructed of her. Now alone, you focus on the mirror once again. Your reflection hardly even fit in the frame. You're very tall. Your reflection went
over the whole length of the mirror. You're pretty tall. Your reflection fit comfortably in the frame, your average height. There's a lot of open real estate in the frame. You're pretty short. You have trouble getting your reflection to appear in the mounted mirror frame. You're very short. What should we decide? Average height. That's gonna make us pretty short. But okay. Vertical challenge. Sorry, I was also reading someone else's chat. Bill was really tall, Derek was kind of short, and you were pretty much the exact height that someone would expect for a 13-year-old. You liked your height, you weren't sure how to feel about it, you were kind of self-conscious over it. You liked your height, I guess. You chew well in your mind. And you put the finishing touches on your outfit while ruminating on the situation. Careless as they had been, Elizabeth's words piqued your curiosity. I was going over to see what Cove was up to today, so this worked in your favor. It was when you spied your reflection that you realized you were smiling wide. You were looking forward to seeing him. You left your room, taking an easy time down the stairs. You spotted Mom first, reclining on the couch. She held a magazine in her hand, which she was pursuing through. Morning, Mom. She looked up at your greeting, and smile instantly appearing on her face.
Thanks.
Good morning, Beanie. Thank you for coming down. I was at the door with Cove. He can't stay over today. Fortunately, why don't you go and thank him before he leaves? He nodded and made your way to the front of the house. Just as she said, Mom was there making conversation. Boys, are you ready to see her with purple hair? She must have heard you because she looked over her shoulder.
Oh.
Look, finally made it. Morning, sleepyhead. She's so fucking pretty. Look who Ma reached forward and you knew she was about to pat you on the head. She was taller than average, so you were little in her eyes, despite being typical size for your own age. You let her do it. You happily let her do it. You tilted your body side to dodge. You pushed her hand back and laughed. You pushed her hand back and groaned. You happily let her do it. That type of small affection exchange was nice. She placed the whole of her hand on top of your head for a second before lifting it back up. Ah, you're the last one down today, you know that? Life isn't a race. Morning. I was going to stay longer, so you're welcome. Sorry about the wait. Uh-huh. What did we get? Life isn't a race. Funny, I don't think that excuse will work if you're late for anyone other than your own mother, though. The small laugh mossed up aside. Cove was just as you remembered, exactly how you came to know him to be. He leaned uncomfortably to the side in your doorway as his bushy hair covered part of his face.
His features were pinched in embarrassment, and he shifted from one foot to another. He was holding what must be the much talked about gift. First glance, he must be a bouquet of flowers. Then he gave it a real look. No, instead it was carefully cut fruit. I love the freaking cut fruit. I'm assuming these are strawberries. Normally the stars are pineapple. But I think these flowers are actually the pineapple. Maybe. These might be grapes. The stars might be mangoes. If anyone want to send me mangoes, I will love them. I love mango. Mango, strawberries, cherries. Let's just state this. I like cherry flavored stuff, strawberry flavored stuff. Made a lot of sense that it was actually from Cove's dad. You had to express a laugh at this showing. You can imagine many folks buying that sort of thing for their own personal enjoyment. That kind of arrangement was built for the presentation, likely to impress whoever was inevitably going to receive it. No matter how long he lived here, Mr. Holden would keep going out of his way to be neighborly, and Cove would always be roped into participating. The sight of you, Cove smiled, but there was some nervousness to it. Hey. He smiled back. You couldn't help thinking when you first met Cove and how you became such good friends. Lately, though, you were starting to have different feelings for him. Hey, it's nice to see you. Yeah, you too. The script on the base of the gift tightened and your heartbeat sped up. Even if neither of you had spoken about it, both of you were aware of something new was growing in your relationship. It was already shaping up to be another long summer. The best part was that the two of you had plenty of time to spend together and explore what was developing. His awkwardness over the task started to creep back in, so Cove nudged the gift closer to you. He was ready to be relieved of it. Your hands brushed over his just slightly when you took hold of the base. He winched enough for you to know that with certainty that he noticed it happen. Cove, come on now. You couldn't help but smile to yourself, and with that, the gift was accepted. It'll be and your family like this. It's a pretty good gift, I think so, anyway. He smiled earnestly. I spent a lot of time picking out the best size and design. There are so many options to choose from. Thank you, thanks. You're too cute sometimes. Thank you. We don't want to embarrass the poor boy. Did you tell your dad we love the gift? Yeah. Mr. Holden's behavior really was different from any neighbor you'd ever had. Though after 5 years, you were used to his antics. And you'd since made up your mind on what your opinion was. He was nice. He was sort of funny, pretty weird. You didn't like him. He was great. He was great and kind of handsome to boot. I mean, it was great. Though there were some things people didn't like about Mr. Holden. He didn't mind them and liked him quite a bit. Your thoughts were quickly interrupted by a shout. There you are. Share a confused look with Cove. As one, both of you stepped through the open door into the neighborhood street. It didn't take long to locate the source of the noise. You spotted Derek. Just a few yards down the road, he ran up to you. You were happy at the sight of him. You were confused at the sight of him. You were displeased at the sight of him. Confused. You expected to see Derek today, though you never really knew when he'd appeared. After stopping a couple steps away, Derek hunched over to catch his breath. Then he looked up with a wide grin. Hey, guy and gal. It's been some time since you officially began using she pronouns. Family knows and supports it. Supports you in it. So does Cove and his dad. Derek was someone you met afterwards. He didn't know you from before, but he still accepted you for who you are, no matter what. I was just at your house, Cove, but no one was there. Should have figured to be at Beanie's place. Do you ever spend time in your own home, or are you always just there? Derek laughed at his own joke. He either didn't notice that it embarrassed Cove, or the embarrassment was what he was actually laughing at. Derek turned to you. He was going to say more when his eyes widened and he gasped. What's that? You followed his gaze Kay isn't sure. Then you realize what he meant. You were still holding Mr. Hunn's gift. It's kind of like a bouquet of flowers made out of fruit. Nice. Can I have some? Sure. I haven't even tried it. It's a gift for my family. I can't give it to you. Maybe we can have some later? It's a gift for my family. I can't give it to him. I'm sorry, Derek. Derek patted at your words, not hiding his disappointment. Oh, okay. Then he nodded his head as if to clear it. Anyway, that's right. I came here because I needed to say something big. Possibly for effect. There's some other kid here in Sunset Bird. Elf was as surprised as you were by the news. Such a reaction made sense. No one around your age moved here since Cove did 5 years ago. Were they with their family? Maybe they're cutting through. Nuh-uh, the new kid was all by himself, just walking. Did you talk to him? Nope. I came to report the sightings right away. The kid had green hair, glasses, was pretty small. He seemed really upset about something. I hope he didn't leave. You blinked, slowly looked over to your longtime neighbor. That sounds a lot like you, Cove, when you first got here anyway. Kinda does, doesn't it? That's weird. He sounded almost fun, a small smile playing on his lips. Derek snickered good-naturedly. I can see that really well now that you say so. But what'd you say? Let's go find Cove's lookalike. We should all meet him. Sure. I'll do it. Sure, I want to see who this person is. Derek grinned. Then he pointed down the street, the way he came. Last I saw him, the mystery visitor was going this direction. Nothing else needed to be said. The three of you were off, with Derek leading the way. Derek brought you to the beach, and as a trail you made your way down the shore to the old playground. You walked the familiar path in comfortable silence. I like to state as it seems like it's already in the lead of the poll. It seems like I'm going to be streaming the demo after every update, which is fine. Which I will ask this then. Voice, as you voted on the poll, would you like, after I'm done with the intro, would you like me to play the demo so you can see how it is right now? Because as there's supposed to be several updates, I don't know when the new one is going to come out. And I won't really know until it says update. Unless they send out like a email saying, hey, next month or next week, big plans to do an update. Which they might do that, but I'm not sure. Just so everyone is also aware, Our Life Now and Forever demo was last updated in last year in, I want to say, last November? Yeah. Last November was the last update. And as of this year, beginning of this year, they sadly had to state that they weren't gonna make the this year cut of releasing it. Sad. But understandable, as some stuff got pushed back due to some unfortunate circumstances for the people who are doing it. But I can wait. I've already been waiting like a year now. I can wait another. Trust me on this. I have patience. When it comes to these types of games, I have patience. He scuffled around, kicking up the sand as he paced. It was true. He certainly seemed upset, but you didn't think he was sad like you had originally pictured. Now, with his erratic movements and scratching up expression, he came off angry. Started to have doubts about this expedition. Maybe better if you left him alone and let him sort himself out. Derek didn't feel the same. He waved wildly, calling out to the boy. You know, Derek, I don't think this is a good idea. Hey, guy, over here. I'm sorry, his appearance gets me every time. Oh, excuse me while I just go and... I'm sorry, his appearance just... Watermelon! Okay. The kid whipped around an impressive scowl carving deeper onto his face. His eyes were tired, but the strong hostile energy still radiated from him. What is it? What do you want? Damn. I am not gonna lie. Looks a little interesting. Looks like it's not raining or what. The sharp tone made Derek flinch. He shifted on his feet. Oh, what's your name? Jeremy. Was that it?
No.
No, I'm Derek. That's Anika. We were just walking around and saw you. We wanted to say hi. There aren't a lot of kids our age in the neighborhood. Yeah, so it's good to see someone else here. Strangely, Jeremy grew furious by your response. If steam could erupt from a person's ears, it would have happened then. They did bring me somewhere stupid. Of course I knew it. Ooh.
My parents.
My parents. They're the ones who brought me. I didn't walk to this town. Can you not figure that out on your own? Right, my dad brings me a Sunset Bird too when he has to come for work and all that stuff. It's not bad. That earned him a glare from Jeremy. Derek winced beneath it, glancing away. It was a struggle to remain friendly with this Jeremy guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to come here for a real vacation probably either. That's an understatement. This doesn't count as vacation. It's a waste of time, a chore. My parents' family is nearby and we had to come see them. They're your parents' family. Doesn't that make them your family too? I guess. That's a pretty good reason to come by. Did you want to go somewhere else? No. Jeremy crossed his arms to the hub and he turned away. They should have gone by themselves since they cared so much and left me home. I'm not allowed to be by myself. Makes no sense. They're the ones who didn't know how to do anything. Who don't know. And I'm the kid? You kept quiet. You shouldn't talk about your parents like that. Sorry must like being forced to do something you don't want to do. We just said hello. You don't have to keep complaining at us. Calm down. You don't have to yell so much. Who peed in your cereal this morning? Oh my god. You kept quiet. Let's not add to this. You had no idea what to say to this, so you stayed silent. I am not getting involved in this, kid. Jeremy didn't even notice, too focused on ranting. How do they always make summer vacations worse every year? Damn, you turned to Cove, lowering your voice. If you aren't that somewhere after all. Jeremy must have had good hearing, though, because he caught the private exchange and scoffed.
Stupid.
Hi, baby. Did you want kissies? Is that it? Is it wear new watermelon every day? What's up, baby? Did you come here? Is that what you want? Wanna be baby? You just wanted to be baby? Sorry, I'm babying my cat. The baby. Oh, she is just a baby. just a baby. Wanna go now? Yeah. Jumping baby. Jumping baby.
Stupid.
Oh! Okay. I'm the kid. You kept quiet. Da. Peaches backed it up. Of course we're not similar. My eyebrows aren't stupid. Joe's cheek flushed crimson at the insult. Couldn't be sure if it was out of embarrassment or anger. Maybe both. Come on. What? No way. No, Cove's wavy eyebrows are so cool. How can you say that when you've got a bowl cut? Don't listen to him. They're really unique and special. While they are kind of silly, I'll just Cove right now. You can't treat people like that. How can you say that when you've got a bowl cut? Yep, it's embarrassing and awful, but my parents made me. I won't have it when I'm older. Don't know what he's going to do with those things, except maybe shade them off. Probably should. Bet he looks like dumb with no eyebrows. You rolled your eyes, you crossed your arms over your chest, you shook your head, you pat Cove on the shoulder, you lunged towards Jeremy. He grinned at all this. Do you think we could take him if we actually lunged towards him? Technically, we still had the fucking fruit in our hands. But we drop it. Do you think we have a chance of taking him? Lunge at him we go. With your fist balled, he made a quick step forward. Can we just look at this? Look at both of their reactions when they realize what you're doing. Shocked, possibly scared what you're doing. But you only wanted to spook him. He also looked shocked. Hold on. No, it's just that. Just how it is. But you only wanted to spook him. He was the one who started things. You were ready to end them. Should we just spook him? He made it clear that words wouldn't work, leaving it to resort to action, even if it was just for show. Derek could jump and stop you before you could reach him. They each grab you by the arm, so Jeremy unexpectedly stumbled backwards, practically fell over. That's all you can do about what I'm saying. It's just proving I'm right, you're brainless. Jeremy continued to defensively fume and throw out insults. The reaction you got was definitely worth any consequence. Wow, what is wrong with you? Instead of taking offense, Jeremy only parroted Derek's word in an easy voice.
Wow, what is wrong with you?
Wait. This is dumb. Jeremy stuck out his tongue and skulked away, throwing more sand everywhere as he went. You watched him go, hunched over until he became a speck in your vision. Silence remained in his wake. The three of you tried to process what just happened. Can't believe it. What a mean kid. Derek wasn't kidding, and by the sound of the earlier complaints, the new boy Jeremy was going to be in the area for at least a little while this summer. Derek sighed in dismay, plopped onto the ground. You followed, and Cove did shortly. There wasn't much else to do. What is important? Which is it? He is not an option. He is not an option, voice. I promise he is not an option. I'm sorry. Oh, God. I could never even. This sucks. I was hoping we could meet someone fun and hang out, maybe. He shook his head after a moment. He slowly turned to you with a hopeful expression. But you know what could really improve the day? What? He didn't respond and said he used his hand to point right at the fruit arrangement that you were still holding. He completely forgot about it during the mini drama that unfolded. He had gotten used to the wait. Glancing over to Cove, you noticed he was eyeing the fruit. You must want some too. I need to save it. Why not? Let's eat. What do we do? Do we give it to him? Or do we save it? Yes, baby? Did you want uppies again? Did you want uppies? No, you just wanted your butt scratch? She just wants her butt scratch. Hold on, let me try. I need to try. See if my luck has turned. Has it turned? It's fine, I caught it. It was out, I'm sorry. Come here, you. Ah! I still have shitty ass luck. Fine, I got peaches to cuddle. So what I caught was my alcohol. My my watermelon alcohol that I forgot to put back after my drinking stream with Risa. I left it on the table right next to me, and Peaches just tried to use it as a scratching post, or not a scratching post. I don't know. What would you call it? She tried to scratch her chin with it. She was using it to, you know. I need to save it.
Okay.
Yay. He sagged, still staring at the glistening fruits. But he didn't insist further. Yeah, it was a gift for the last family. After all, they should be the ones who get to have it. Sorry for asking. It's fine. Quiet once more descended upon your group. Cove turned towards the ocean, peaceful expression. Did you remember the land before time? That fruit thing makes me think of it. The dinosaurs are like the leaves that were shaped like stars. Tree stars! Yeah, chopping the leaves looked so delicious when they did it. I love that movie. I never seen it. I didn't like that one. That movie's for kids. Eating leaves look good. Should I worry about you? Do you think things taste better when they're shaped like stars? Yes, yes, and yes. Nice. And impressive. I love the Land Before Time movies. None say anything rude about them. They were my childhood. I used to have all the movies. Oh my god. I think maybe my stepmom still has them. It's so sad about what happened to Ducky. The person who voiced Ducky. I love that movie. Me too. Jerry didn't say anything further about dinosaurs or otherwise. The next few minutes, the three of you watched the waves crash onto the shore. He just keeps walking over. You're gonna knock stuff over. Just try to knock my drink over. What is with you? That reminds me of Watermelon Head. Hey, Beanie. Yeah? Have you met Eyes casually? Were you seriously gonna hit that guy? Nah, I just knew he'd get all scared over it.
Ew.
Theo, that was pretty bad, Beanie.
I mean,
I thought it was cool. Well, you're both crazy people. You know when Derek said things like that, it wasn't serious. He liked you and Cove. Yeah. Derek then leaned back on his arms. He contemplated the sky with a discontent sigh. So are you both ready for some break? Yeah, no, not sure. Are you? Also, I'm supposed to be ready for a break. Are you? Well, it feels like there's a lot to plan for. What about you, Cove? Are you ready? I think that depends. Before you could say anything else, the light atmosphere was shattered. Hey, Beanie! You glance over your shoulder to see your sister. She strode closer and closer, appearing none too pleased. I've been looking all over for you. Ma said you and Cove ran off with the thing Mr. Holden brought for us. She leered over you with arms folded. So where is it? It's fine. It's right here. You turned your body to face her and held up the bouquet, proving that it was in one piece. She inspected the fruit arrangement with a small frown. All right, looks good, but if all you're doing is sitting around, you better take it back to the house now. It's not just for you. Grinned tauntingly, slightly glancing at Cove, who sat right beside you, even if you are the one person who counts the delivery boy. This was up to his dad. It seemed everybody was in the mood to tease you and Cove today. Within moments, Cove's cheeks flushed red. He picked at the hem of his shirt, suddenly finding it very interesting. He always became nervous when Elizabeth would strike at your relationship. Giggling this wasn't okay just because he hadn't done anything yet. Oh no, I think I hear the mean kid coming back. We better get out of here. Elizabeth blinked, confused, and looked around. What kid? I don't see anyone. Derek didn't bother explaining. He just launched to his feet and ran off. Cove hopped up too, gladly taking the opportunity to exit the situation. Followed after Derek, but he suddenly looked to you from over his shoulder. He turned to watch Elizabeth. She stared back, brows raised. You ran, you stayed. You stayed. You didn't make a break for it. Instead, you carefully got out from the sand, bouquet still in hand. Once you straightened up, Elizabeth smiled affectionately over at you. Come on, fugitive. You nodded, then examined the fruit skewers. You wanted to make sure it hadn't been jostled by the short adventure and gone. Still looks great. Elizabeth noticed too. You know, we could split it now and tell them those boys ate it. They bailed, so they won't get to tell the story. Moms would never need to find out. That's kind of hypocritical of you, don't you think? She bumped your shoulder, winking cheekily. What else is family for? You laughed together, making your way home, side by side. You and Elizabeth didn't follow through with the joke to eat everything before getting home. When the two of you returned, your moms welcomed you back. There wasn't a mention of the mini-event that unfolded. For you happily split the bouquet in the end. After that, Derek had rejoined you in the living room. He had to show his face again eventually after running off. The dust settled from the prior events, and your moms went back to their room. So Derek was just taking it easy until his dad arrived. Mr. Suarez was meant to be there any minute to get Derek. Derek preferred not to sit, and instead took long, lazy strides in a circle around the edge of the rug. Hands behind his back and head angled towards the ceiling, Derek looked like he might have been puzzling out a crime. Probably made half a dozen rounds when a solid knock struck your front door. That stopped Derek in his tracks. Dad's here. The both of you stepped towards the door in unison. You arrived first, since you'd had a half-room head start. When you pulled it open, only cracked, someone zoomed in past you. The breakneck flash of a human was still entirely recognizable. It was Derek's little brother, Nicholas Suarez. He shouted triumphantly, "Look at the little kid! He's so cute! Just look at him!" No one can tell me this kid is not adorable. Look at him! His voice, right here. He was only 6, the teeniest kid around. Hot on his heels came the middle Suarez son, Jorge. Nicholas. We have to stay in the car. We're going home. We're not here to play. He was 10. And his patience was being tested. So, 13, 10, and 6. So, you have a 3-year and then a 4-year gap between kids. The youngest one frantically shook his head and made his hair even messier than it already was. Nicholas' hair was as wild and free as he was. Hair clips and his parents' minivan couldn't contain the energy. Which might have been surprising, considering he loved cars enough to wear the shirt covered in them, but you knew Nicholas loved Derek even more. Staying right where he was, inside your house, at even his older brother's side, Nicholas gave Derek a hug. I came to get you. Derek bent down to scoop Nicholas into his arms in a fond squeeze, though he kept his face tilted up to make eye contact with Jorge.
Hey.
Hey, bros. Side by side, Mr. and Mrs. Perez trailed in. The resemblance between the parents and their children was clear. Derek and Jorge were a splitting image of their father. Jorge was even sometimes called Junior, while Nicholas was the mommy's boy.
Good evening.
Good evening, Beanie.
Hello.
Hello, you'll have to forgive the three-ring circus visiting town. The boys just had to come. Hi, don't worry about that. You're welcome here. I didn't know what to say. I love seeing the boys. He merely shrugged. Don't worry about that. You're welcome here. Frown that had been struck on Jorge's face finally eased up a little. Oh, how kind.
Bye.
But we can't stay. Thank you for letting Derek visit, and tell your mothers I said hello. Okay. Come on, boys. All four of you now. Let's give the last family their house back. Coming.
Yes, Mom.
Yes, Mom. Half of the group trotted towards with only one word. They went past Miss Perez and out the door. She watched them go before surveying the situation with the most troublesome one. Nicholas was just bouncing around Derek as if he hadn't even heard his parent. Derek and his mom looked on with identical expressions of exhaustion, seemed affection. When an opportunity opened up between hops, Derek carefully took hold of Nicholas' small hand. Let's go to the car, Nico. You can sit next to me. Thrilled by the promise, Nicholas let out another tear. Yeah, let's go to the car. Mrs. Perez left it there, crossing her Otis, and went to join Mr. Perez and Jorge. Nicholas gripped Derek's black wristband with his free hand, stretching it outwards in eager attempt to lead his big brother along. Derek stumbled forward with a chuckle, mostly to protect his band from being pulled too far, rather than Nicholas actually having the strength to move him. But he made sure not to forget you. Derek said his goodbye from over his shoulders. Bye, gal. Bye, good night. Goodbye, everyone. He laid the group off. He stood there, watching them go. Good night. After their prompt entrance and equally quick exit, the whole Suarez family was on their way home. You, however, didn't have anywhere to go. It was late enough that the rest of the day would be spent inside your home. That was a while ago now. Later that night, you found yourself seated near the kitchen counter. Your fingers drummed on the surface as you waited, your gaze trained on the phone. You were waiting on a call tonight, specifically from your cousin Leandra. You didn't want to miss it accidentally. Your uncle, aunt, and Lee used to live many hours away. Families only saw each other a few times a year for big occasions. My headphone. I need new headphones. Duly noted. Pads on my headphones keep coming off. Only saw each other for a few times a year for big occasions. A while back, though, they moved and were closer to you than ever before. You now hung out regularly. With school being out, you're positive she's going to want to come over a lot. The two of you were the same age and got along well. She used to be really fond of Lizzie, Elizabeth too, but now that your sister had become allergic to interacting with her own family, it tended to be just you and Lee who spent time together. She was your only friend who was a girl. Being family helped make you close, but you had a lot of girlfriends. You often gravitated towards other girls and befriended them pretty easily. You had a lot of non-girlfriends. You didn't have many non-girlfriends. Hey! Stop doing that! Hold on, give me a moment. Sorry, I had to Peaches has been biting at her paw. I can't tell if she's actually biting her paw or her nails. I just had to get up and look at it. Because I couldn't tell. She's biting the nails, which is fine. It's part of their grooming. What's a good pair of headphones? Does anyone know? I'd go with wired. As I need to have connected to my mic. That's so adorable. It's a adorable cat cartoon coffee mug. I am a nerd. I'm adding it. Give me one moment. That's so cute. I need to get off the cat stuff. I need to get off the fucking cat shit. Oh my god, look at that. Strawberry mug. Oh my god. That's so cute. Oh my god, I need to get off this. Oh my god, I need to get off this. I need to get off the fucking mugs. I'm off the mugs. I promise I'm off the mugs. Skull-shaped ice cube maker. Oh my god. No. Pay attention. Pay attention. Cute. You know what? I'm pretty sure I've seen those headphones on here before. The unofficial Sims cookbook. Oh my god. I need to just not do that. Wait, why did that even pop up? I'm looking at electronics. I am so confused on when that popped up for the electronics. See, I have an issue with that. Art tablet is like... That art tablet was cheap. Why was it cheap? Ray Blossom. Mm. Mario Kart. You want some catnip toys? Ooh, okay. Should I get the ones that light up? I don't want to get ones that have a mic because gonna be an issue with my. Okay. Black. Black or purple? Is that purple? That's purple. Oh. Probably should go with the purple. Just because Kenzie likes to take stuff that is black. Very sorry to state that my entire whole aesthetic is not purple as I hold my green water cup. Because it was either this or wait for that purple one to come in, and I would, rather not wait. Alrighty, cat ears are in. The thing. Oh shit. Hold on. Where did it go? Take it back. There is nothing wrong with the green cup. Let's be honest here. My thing was green. My entire room color is green. Let's just state this. Ooh, they have a bat one. Let's go. You're welcome. I think these could be plugged in. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I had a lot of plushies, but a lot of them are unavailable. Oh my god, we also need to do this. I don't. You also had a lot of non-girlfriends. What kind of gender someone was didn't seem to make any difference in who you got along with. Owlbear plushie. Oh my god, yes. Then the show ringtone announced an incoming call. You jumped before grabbing the receiver and pressing it to your ear. I'm sorry, we could have a different color of owlbear? I'm sorry. Leave, finally. Hi. Sorry about the wait, Beanie. It took forever to get the phone away from my mom. That's okay. There's static on the end, as if Lee was shifting wherever she was. So, can you believe school's finally over? I thought it'd never be done. I am. The fact that it has different colors is what doesn't, which is what gets me. Because technically the owlbear, which is from Baldur's Gate, if no one knows, at least I'm assuming it's from that, because there is an owlbear in that game that you can have at your camp. Let me tell you, it is adorable, and I will forever go to it and try to get it to my camp. If it means I kill everyone. Because I will do it. Now, on that note, the owlbear is brown, like a bear. Very creepy bear, though. Lee, can you wait a second? Let me just head to my room. Oh, yeah. You got up from your seat at the counter. Likely the phone was wireless, so you didn't have to worry about any cords trying you down. Your mom's had a rule about not moving the phone unless a call was in progress, which was why you'd been sat by its cradle waiting for Lee to call. Your mom's could be really unfair. You thought that made sense. You didn't like it, but it had to be that way. You thought that made sense. It was nice to keep everything in its proper place, but now that Lee had called, it was okay for you to go upstairs to your bedroom and talk to her. You made your way up the stairs smiling. After you had arrived, you shut the bedroom door firmly behind you. You took a seat on your bed. All right, I'm here. Cool. Hey, did you know a girl down the street from me has her own phone now? A cell phone. She doesn't have to wait for someone else to stop using it or anything. Wow, really? The thought of someone having a phone like that was all their own seemed unbelievable to you. Right? I wish I had one too, but my parents said I couldn't get my own phone until I'm more grown up. I wish they changed their mind. We could call each other every single day and no one would be able to stop us. How great would that be? Really great. But wouldn't I still be using a home phone? Too bad that's so far away. Really great. We could even stay up late talking about whatever we wanted. Lee sighed thoughtfully into the receiver. At least I said I could have it someday. I can't wait. She sighed dramatically. Then I'm not going to get one until I'm all the way in college. Squeezing the phone between your shoulder and ear, you puffed up your pillows, made yourself more comfy. It was strange to think of a time when normal school would be over. You'd have to choose whether or not to go to a college. School's such a big part of your life right now. Studying didn't come easily to you, though you tried hard. You worked about as hard as most people and got pretty average results as well. You never tried much, but you still didn't do that bad. You didn't bother at school. In school, and your grades reflected that. Everything in your classes came easy to you. You worked hard for your excellent grades. Worked hard. Every A+ you brought home was a result of concentration and diligence. You hoped that you would be able to keep it up through high school. You felt a lot of pressure to maintain the high grades you had last year. You hoped to do just as well this year, but it wouldn't be a big deal if they dropped some. You were confident your grades would remain great. You had no plans of getting excellent scores this time around. You were confident. You could definitely keep the streak going. Yeah. Try to sound engaged, but your mind had decided to go back to school despite the season. Lee knew you too well to be fooled. You sound so spacey. What's up? Just thinking about school. Lee groaned. Are you thinking about how we don't have to think about it? 'Cause it's summer. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking forward to going back. Let's make a petition for more vacation time. It's so awful. I hate going. Come on, it's too scary not to think about. Let's make a petition for more vacation time. Yeah, everybody in class would sign it. Maybe some of the teachers too. So I guess school isn't all the way bad. You can do some good things there. You can just do more when school's out. Learning new things could be cool.
Me too.
Whoops. I just wish everyone did okay with how they taught things. Not just some people.
Me too.
Me too. Gym's pretty great though. There's all sorts of sports stuff during gym. Oh yeah, it can be fun sometimes. Easiest way to hang out with people not in the neighborhood. If I didn't go to school and never meet anyone new, no one really comes here. Cafeteria lunches? No. Cafeteria lunches are not that good. No one can lie. And that's pretty much everything that's good about school. Okay, point taken. Now I decree the topic of school is officially closed. We have to talk about the summer first. Before we start plotting the rest of our lives, I got some plans already. Oh, tell me. I'm gonna visit my cousins. You chuckled, of course. What's something you want to do? The first thing that comes to your head. I want to spend time with people. I got some new art supplies, reading. I'm gonna catch up on movies and TVs. I'll probably spend time at the beach. I don't want to do anything at all. It's a vacation. I got some new art supplies. Can't wait to try them out. Can't wait to see what you make. You lean back in your bed, settling in as you continue chatting with your friend. Even though it hadn't been that long since you saw her and you'd be seeing her soon. Found plenty to talk about. For one, the events of the day you sat up straighter. I was with Cove and Derek today and we met a new kid. Like, at your neighborhood? Mm-hmm. His parents are visiting family, so it sounds like he'll be around for a little while. I don't know how long. What was he like? Creepy, mean, weird, kind of interesting. Mean. He kept snapping when all we were trying to do was talk to him. He just kept being rude to everyone. But especially Cove, it was awful. I don't think I want to meet him. You want a boy to stay away before you even meet him? That's an unexpected twist. Your cousin was pretty popular with the boys. I clicked. Who knew her? She seemed happy enough to have them around until they started to annoy her. Hey, who are you talking? Who are you talking? You get practically all your attention to boys, or maybe just one boy. I see how much you like Cove. You got me out. That's a special case. I don't give him all my attention. You weren't able to say anything to that. That's a special case. Lee laughed at your defensiveness, deeply amused. Even though she couldn't see, you shook your head at her, grinning to yourself. There's a stopping noise approaching your room. Heralding the arrival of your irritated older sister, she flung the door open, frown etched on her face. The little adventure from earlier hadn't gotten you any goodwill this time, it seemed. How long are you going to hog the phone? Glancing at your watch, you realized that your quick call had gone on much longer than anticipated. Elizabeth held out her hand, though other one lodged on her hip. God, having a teenager as your older sister sucks. She noticed the realization in your face. Time's up. Gotta go. I'll see you soon, okay? With a sigh, he said your goodbyes to Lee. Sorry for being so long. I'm still using it. No, get out of my room. Sorry for being long. Lee, I have to go now. Bye. Okay, see you soon. Tell Elizabeth and your moms I said hi, too. You barely pressed the end call button when Elizabeth whisked the hand I can speak. The hand set from your fingers and began dialing someone new as she strode out of the room. Your mom's voice called from downstairs. Hey, has anyone seen the phone? I'm using it. With that, she shut your door behind you. Silence was left in the wake. That was one way to end your first day of summer break. I do believe when we do the next our live stream, which is Friday, I will start with the demo, and then we'll end on the our live game, or maybe we'll just play the demo instead, because I think the demo is kind of long too. But I'm ready for sleep. But I want to finish the intro up, and that'll be it. I can even tell you guys how it is different from the first time I played it. Sometime later, it had gotten dark outside, and you laid in bed, wide awake. Your window rattled all of a sudden, startling you badly. You flinched, staring over at it with furrowed brows. From your vantage point, you saw only the moon and an open sky. You were scared, confused, annoyed, curious. Confused. What had caused that noise? Frowning, you sat up and moved closer to the window. You might as well find the reason behind the disturbance. To your utter shock, your gaze was met by a pair of familiar ocean blue eyes. Cove? You squinted. Yep, Cove was right outside your window. Your house was very angular, and some parts stuck out further than others, so it theoretically wouldn't be hard to climb around on. Still, just because somebody could didn't mean you expected it to ever happen. To his credit, Cove was doing fine. His feet were raised against a section of the wall that jutted out, his arms flexing with effort to keep him upright. He easily lifted a hand, waved at you from the other side of the glass. You hurriedly opened the window. Cove climbed over the ledge, releasing a breath once he was safely inside.
Hey.
Hi, Beanie. What are you doing? What's up, Romeo? This sure is a surprise, but you're always welcome here. Is everything okay? What happened? You're lucky I didn't start screaming. Amazing, my dreams have come true. What's up, Romeo? I need to talk to you and couldn't wait until morning. Till tomorrow. If I rang the doorbell and know your moms would have answered, they'd just make me go home. I didn't really want to explain why I was coming over anyway. I don't want to talk about it. Well, besides with you, I mean, but that's why I did that. As unexpected as this was, you were touched. Cove felt like he could tell you what was wrong. I might have tried calling or something, said my dad was on the phone. Cove suddenly looked very cross. Dad, he was talking to my mom, still is probably. You raised your eyebrows. Cove had eavesdropped on his parents' phone conversation. You shouldn't have done that. Eavesdropping is bad. I would have done that too. You didn't comment on him eavesdropping. There were other things to talk about. Are you going to stay with your mom for a while again? Every year, Cove was sent off to live with his mom for a few weeks. When it happened varied. Sometimes he would go during winter break, but usually he went during summer. Even though it was hard news when he found out he was leaving and you missed seeing him those weeks, you understood. To your surprise, however, he shook his head. That's what I thought too, but no. That's not what they were saying. My dad asked my mom not to have me leave this year. He said she could come stay with us here. He waited for him to continue. He didn't. The conversation abruptly dropped off. He couldn't help but stare Cove. This was a complicated mix of expressions on his face. What did your mom say? She told him she'd come. I know she's coming soon before school starts. Oh. You had heard Cove talk about his mom a lot over the years. He'd tell you about past memories or what happened while he was visiting her. Still, it was one thing to hear about someone and another to actually meet them. Very soon, you're going to see Cove's mom in person. You were taken back by the news, so you could only imagine how Cove felt. You looked over at him. He was pacing across your rooms, his features painted with dread. Before they'd barely stay in the same room long enough to have lunch. Now we're gonna be all together again, the three of us, after all this time, just for a few weeks. I know I should probably be happy they can talk to each other now. I'm still not. I'm just confused and freaked out, and I feel really bad for feeling this way. Beanie, it's so... His fist tightened and his eyes became misty. I shouldn't keep getting like this. It's been a long time already, and I'm not a little kid. Though he wouldn't meet your eyes, you knew he was waiting for you to say something. There's nothing wrong feeling bad. This is hard to deal with. We can deal with this. I'm sorry, Cove. You know I'm here for you. Yeah, that's a lot. Didn't know what to say. There's nothing wrong feeling bad. That is hard to deal with. The tense line of Cove's shoulder eased. Thanks, that makes me feel a little better. Like I'm not freaking out for no reason. A momentary silence fell over the two of you. You marveled at how the day started. You had woken up eager for summer vacation, but now things seemed so crazy. The mini debacle with Mr. Holmes' gift, the newest addition to the neighborhood being so rude, and as if all that wasn't enough, now Cove's mom would be living with Cove and his dad again. Your whole life was kind of like that, it seemed. Complicated and hard and different. Why couldn't things just get better with time? Beanie? The sound of your name, said quietly, pulled you from your thoughts. Cove gazed at you, concerned. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. You meant it. Yeah, I'm okay. You didn't mean it. No, I'm not. I don't know. Who, me? I'm more worried about you. Wow, things are kind of bad for everyone, huh? Yeah, I'm okay. You meant it. You knew some things were still good. Cove grinned reassuringly. It was small and delicate, but you knew it was genuine. Moonlight from outside cast shadows across his face and lit up his eyes. It seemed to sparkle with a smile. But just one look brightened your mood somehow. You know, I think I don't want to talk anymore about this. He looked away, his lips sliding into a line and rubbed at his arms. But I kind of don't want to go back home either. Could I stay a little longer? Just doing something else? He appeared equal parts hopeful and vulnerable. How could you possibly turn him away? You can stay tonight, but we shouldn't make a habit of this. I've got a flashlight and some cards. Are you in? Of course, you can always stay here, Cove. I got a flashlight and some cards. Are you in? Tilted your head, waiting patiently for his answer. He pricked up at your response, a smile appearing on his face. He immediately took a seat on your bed, not afraid to get comfortable in your room. Felt a little better at the sight somehow. You still had a lot of worries, but you were glad he was here. Not just tonight. You were glad he came into your life in the first place. That was a change you never wanted to undo. Felt totally natural to him into your little world. The initial friendship had deepened so much over these past years, and you were certain there was room to get even closer. You joined Cove on your bed, taking a seat across from him. Smiled at you again, but you could tell this time it was half-hearted. He was still easy to read. Though he didn't want to talk about his mom and dad, he must be thinking about what happened and what's about to happen. So gently, put a hand on his shoulder, you patted his back, you hugged him. You took his hand in yours, you nudged him with your foot. Let's give him a hug. You moved closer and wrapped your arms around him. It wasn't much, but you hoped the contact helped even a little. Bill froze up, startled. After a moment, his arms came up and returned your hug. He remained like that for some time. He might have mumbled something to you, but it was too quiet to tell what it was. When you pulled back, his expression has softened into something more natural. Conversation was stilled and broken often by silence at first. Then both of you were able to get into your usual candor. Holy crap. You thought that you truly wanted to keep having moments like this with him. You hoped a day would never come when life decided that you two would have to part ways. You knew Cove felt the same. Cove felt the same. You opened your tired eyes, grinning as they adjusted to the bright light that was streaming through your window and warming your tan skin. With a loud yawn, you rolled away from the sunlight and blinked a couple of times, clearing the sleep from your eyes before realizing with a start that it was actually morning. You couldn't remember even falling asleep. Delta crept through your window during the night, and the two of you spent time together, trying not to wake your parents. You must have fallen asleep while you were hanging out, but couldn't put a finger on exactly when. Wondered how late Cove had stayed before heading home. You rubbed your face and yawned again, contemplating whether you should get out of the bed and get ready for the day, or stay snuggled up for a little while longer, until your gaze landed on an instantly recognizable mop of pale green hair. You bolted upright and gasping in surprise. He never left. He was still there in the morning. Cove, you laughed out loud. You jumped out of bed. You froze. Whoopsie. I mean, is anyone really surprised? Shush, phone. You laughed out loud. Whoops, sorry. I don't think I just said the Cove. You laughed out loud, jumped out of bed, you froze. I'm pretty sure I read those, but just doing it again. Oh, you laughed out loud. You had fallen asleep while sitting on the ground, precariously leaning his head on the side of your mattress. With your lap closed, I snapped open and his head slipped from its source of support. Oh no, he didn't stop going down until he smacked right into the floor with a crack. Oh, ow. That had to hurt, because that's wood. That's wood and floor. I know it's like to hit head against a floor with wood. That sounds bad. No matter what I say after this, it's gonna sound bad. I'm accident prone here, people. I can state this. I have a cut on my hand from trying to open up Peaches' wet food. Legitimately, earlier today, I cut my hand trying to open up her wet food, which is in a plastic container and foil. The foil fucking cut my right underneath my thumb. So when I say I know what it's like, I have slipped down and hit my head. Well, actually, no. Okay. Hit my head on a lot of things. I realize that now. So the floor is kind of different from what I hit my head on. I hit my head on the stairs. My wooden stairs. Twice. Actually. My entire whole house, besides the basement and the playroom, is all mostly wooden floors. The entryway is not. It is I want to say it's tile, but I don't think it's tile. What's the other thing? I think it is tile, maybe. I don't remember. But, it is very hard material. And very easy to slip on. Now, I have gone down the steps and slipped on them. Even me and Kenzie are not allowed to wear socks. Because we will slip and fall on our butts. We did it the first, couple weeks, when we moved in. I'm the one that slipped mostly. I'm the reason why no one was allowed to wear socks in the house. Everyone had to get slippers. Newsflash, I still don't have slippers. I mostly go around in socks still. So I still haven't learned my lesson. But, I have fallen, on the steps. Mostly because I'm trying to dodge the animals that I have. I try to step over my dog at the time, Tater, because she wouldn't move because my mom was in the bathroom and she was sitting at the top of the steps waiting for my mom. So I try to step over her and my foot, when I stepped down, my foot was too much on the edge of the stairs, so I went down. I didn't hurt my dog, at least. I stepped over her, and then I slipped. I went down the stairs, while my dog just watched me go down, and I hit my head on the stairs. I also kind of bashed my arm into the railing, and the railing, you think the railing would be, nice, but it's metal. It's a metal fucking railing that we have. And it hurts. We had to put so we had to put something on the bottom of it because my mom kept bashing her hand into it. And the second time, so where I was coming down from where I stepped over my dog, that was from the bedrooms to the living room. The living room has steps going to the entryway. The time I was going down to the entryway is because I was bringing stuff down to my grandmother, who was out in her car with my mom,
And they had sent me in, and I grabbed the stuff, and I was on my way out when I slipped going down the steps. And I will state this, I know you're supposed to stay awake if you feel like you have an injury, but I passed out. I did. I legitimately hit my head on most of the steps, and I landed with a thunk on the tile floor. I'm pretty sure it was tile. So I laid there for God knows how long before my grandmother said, she's taking too long, we need to go in, and they found me on the floor. I gave my grandmother a heart attack that day, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure my grandmother felt really bad because she was the one who asked me to go get the stuff. But yeah. I remember mumbling, I try to stay awake. I know you're supposed to stay awake to them. And I think that broke her even more. Because they realized that I did pass out. Yeah. Where did my game go? There we go. So yeah, falling onto wood is hard. Tile is also harder. Knock on wood. I haven't had an accident in like 4 years now? Yeah. No. The thing with my grandmother happened like 3 years ago. My bad. 3 years ago. That was the last time I accidentally fell. Last time I fell. You click. But yeah. You clamped a hand over your mouth, looked down at him with wide eyes, curled up where he had landed rather ungracefully. Ow. He laughed even more. Are you okay? You helped him up. Shh, my mom can hear us. You helped him up. Here. Cove complied by putting his hand on yours, and you helped him back into a sitting position. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm alright. Either your moms find out Cove has slept here last night, the two of you will be in big trouble. Phil blinked at you a couple of times, his eyes growing in panic as some thought that only he could hear settled in his mind. Oh my god, I fell asleep. The voice crack! You weren't exactly sure what to do as you watched Cove pace your room, looking around frantically. Cove's hands flew to his face, letting out a sigh of relief when he found his glasses right where they were supposed to be. Despite that, he hadn't calmed down completely. The atmosphere was still frazzled. It's gonna be alright, we're going to be in so much trouble. Just calm down, settle down before moms hear you. He didn't say anything. Settle down before moms hear you. Cove nodded, his shoulders tense as he fixed you with a firm stare with his turquoise eyes. Letting out a heavy sigh, he ran a hand through his hair in expiration. He could look at you again as he spoke. He couldn't look at you again. I'll see you later. You were confused how all this had played out, but hope that was true. Right. Bye, Cove. At that, you were suddenly wrapped up in a tense embrace. As panicked as he was, this seemed to be something he couldn't forget before leaving. Thanks again. You're a good friend, Beanie. A really good friend. He firmly whispered the words into the top of your shoulders. It made you feel tingly. But you were let go before you had a chance to respond or even fully react. In a matter of seconds, he had climbed over your bed and opened the window. A cool breeze rolled off the ocean, fluttering through Cove's hair and filled your room with its salty scent. Cove fearlessly slipped out onto the ledge. You wished him luck, you rallied him to keep going, just sneak out the door instead. You urged him to hurry up. You wished him luck. Good luck, be super careful. You weren't sure if he heard you or not, but he kept going along, one foot in front of the other with increased speed, till his form disappeared out of sight. Thank you for the raid, Mad Dog! It is super loud. I can spell. I didn't do the shout out correctly. I am so dumb.
I'm out.
Is this the one I think it is? It is!
Did it just tell you to die?
No, I went out. I went out now.
Did I just hear it tell you to die? Was that your stream? Is someone fucking with you?
I love that.
I don't think I've ever heard it say die before. Diogen, Spirit, Mare, or Morai? What do you think?
I love that one.
That's exactly what he said.
I really wish they kept the voice
Hey,
things.
would you like to be my friend?
My god. That is my favorite thing ever that happened. I really wish they kept those voice lines in Fez. My god. Oh, the fun. Oh, the terrifyingness. My god. I am still traumatized and I really hope they don't. Because my god, the moment they do, I'm done. I'll be happy, but my god, I'd be done. I don't think my heart could take another one of those. It was the first time I heard that and I didn't want to do it again. Okay. You stuck your head out the window as far as it could go to try keeping. You walk the full length of the ledge before jumping down to the top. Actually, let me see. I know. How about is off. Hence why. Hey, now my thing should be working now. See, there we go. Now it should be working. He walked the full length of the ledge before jumping down to the top of the garage, then lowering himself onto the fence. From there, he finally dropped down to the ground. He threw out a thumbs up at a successful climb. He ran off towards his house without stopping, disappearing behind the side of another building. He had to admit that you were pretty impressed at how doable he made that look. Cove always seemed to have a way of seeming so smooth without even meaning to. With a little sigh, you reclosed your window, deciding there was nothing more you could do. You hopped off your bed and got ready to head downstairs for the day. You put on your slippers, you checked yourself in the mirror, you made your bed, you just slept. Made your bed. It was a habit of yours. You straightened up your sheets, smoothed over your comforter, and flipped your pillows before stepping back and admiring your work. You took the stairs slowly, attempting to mask your face into a look of innocence. You were sure that someone would have come into your room if they had heard anything strange, but you couldn't be too careful. You had to play it cool. So, for those who just came in, our friend Co kind of snuck into our room last night and accidentally fell asleep on the floor. And he just leapt out the window. Because, you know, he wasn't supposed to be there. When he stepped into the living room, Elizabeth was there, tapping her finger on the counter. Good morning, Elizabeth. She looked you over immediately, her eyes squinting at the greeting. Why are you being so weird? You hadn't even done anything. Your big sister never missed a beat. Fortunately, you turned and offered a tight smile. Her lips pursed even tighter. Beanie, you shrugged it off. You cleared up. Wouldn't you like to know? Sorry, you excitedly blurted it out. You folded. You shrugged it off. I'm not. You spoke so nonchalantly, you almost thought she believed you. But you knew better. Further suspicious squinting occurred as she waited for something. Ultimately, she rolled her eyes, and you weren't sure if you were in trouble or not. Didn't seem to care enough to dig any further. Whatever. And then she walked straight out of the front door, letting it slam shut behind her, and you let out a brief sigh. Elizabeth went out most days to hang out with her friends from school around town. Today, you were actually glad for it. You're extra glad for it. Though you're also grateful she hadn't left the house any sooner and risked running into Cove. It looked like you were getting away with that. Breakfast was eaten in peace and alone. Your moms were both out by the time you had gotten up. They left you serving the food from the breakfast they made. Hash browns, an omelet, fruit salad, and there was a few sausage links. You took a little bit of everything. You passed on some parts because you weren't things you liked. Passed on some parts because you were trying to avoid meat. Passed on some parts because you were trying to avoid animal products. Took a little bit of everything. It was tasty. You appreciate that there was a variety in your meals your mom's made. The day lazily drifted by at home, and eventually your parents returned. You pulled open the fridge again, lingering in the frosty air for a moment or two before grabbing a bottle of iced cold water and taking a long drink. Oh, God. Oh, spider eyes? Spider eyes? We get the spider eyes! I call it spider, but it's like Spider-Man eyes, you know? It's why I say it. They're kind of like Spider-Man eyes, you know? Creepy, but still. No. It was perfect balmy summer afternoon. You decided to head outdoors and find something to do. You hadn't decided what that something was just yet, but you were sure something would pop up to occupy your time. As you were heading out the front door, you paused for a moment. You hadn't seen Cove since he had left that morning. You couldn't help but think about what had happened to him. Would it be bad to go over to his house right now, or to call him to check in? You stepped out of your house, still stuck in an internal debate with yourself, when a voice caught your attention. Hi, Beanie. Hold on. Voice, are you ready for this? Is everyone ready for this? We're about to meet Cove's mom. Confused, you looked over to where an unrecognizable woman was waving at you. A friendly smile plastered on her face. You acted memory for where you might have seen her before, but nothing came to mind. Not your school, or from the country club your mom took you to. You had absolutely no idea who this woman was. The woman crossed the road towards you. You were a little unsure whether you should stay put or go back into the house and lock the door. Look at her! Oops, I'm sorry. Was that presumptuous? I've heard about you. But you have no idea who I am, do you? Look at her! You shook your head and she removed her sunglasses to reveal sparkly ocean blue eyes. All of a sudden, she seemed a little more familiar. My son lives here, and my ex too. With a bent smile, she lifted a hand to point at the condo across the street from your own house. She was Cove's mom. You didn't know why you hadn't realized sooner. Now that you've gotten a good look at her. She seemed nice, she seemed sort of strange, she looked really young, and made sense she was Cove's mom. She felt so different to Cove. She was super pretty. This beautiful lady was Cove's mother? Wow. You can also tell, look at the ends. She has slightly Cove's hair color right here at the ends. Which I think is cool, but I would think that, you know, maybe be closer to the top of her head than down here. Unless maybe she dyed this part, but who doesn't dye their tips?
No matter your thoughts on her, you still felt taken back that she had appeared here so suddenly. Both mentioned she was coming, but you hadn't gotten the impression it would be the very next day. She extended a hand again, this time for you to take. You studied the manicured fingers in front of your face and the assortment of bracelets that dangled from her wrist. I'm Kyra Reese. I have never been able to say her last name. You can call me Kyra. You shook her hand, you didn't shake her hand. You shook her hand. You reached out and took her hand, and she shook yours firmly, groaning wide. I'm Beanie, but you already knew that.
I do.
That I do. Ghost mentioned you to me before. It's nice to officially meet you, Beanie. He'll talk to you about his mom. He hadn't mentioned how he said things about you to her. What has Cove said about me? What are you doing here? Nice to meet you too. You kept quiet. She smiled at you fondly, her eyes crinkling at the corners. The sound of a door opening and closing caught both your attentions, and when you turned towards the sound, it was to find Cove exiting his house as I skimming the ground. Saying just how tall he had grown, you kind of figured his mom also would have been tall, but she was much more on the short side. For an adult, anyway. Cove's height must have come from his father.
My baby.
There you are. I thought you were going to keep me standing out here all day. You tried to catch Cove's eyes as he walked towards you, but his gaze was firmly fixed on the sidewalk. When you finally crossed the road and looked up, he gave you a pitiful look. After the way he had acted last night, you knew he must be feeling pretty mixed up about this. You tried wordlessly to express that you understood. Cove and I are heading into town to grab something to eat while the snore is at work. Drew beamed at Cove and ruffled his hair, which only seemed to upset him more. You assumed the snore she was talking about was Mr. Holden. Hey, you should come with us, Beanie. I'd love to get to know you better. Yeah, you should come. There was a pleading in his tone that you couldn't miss. Of course, we'll run it by your parents' first responsibility and all that.
Anywhoosies.
It'll give me an excuse to meet them, which I need to do at some point. It's important to be nifty if I'm going to be staying on the street for a time being. Anywhoosies, let's go. Kira walked ahead towards your house, and you hung back with Cove, who crinkled his nose as he watched her. I'm sorry about her, but I really do want you to come. I don't want to be it just the two of us, not right now. He leaned in close and whispered while checking around for everyone who might hear. What happened? Did your dad know you were gone? Cove shook his head and sighed heavily. Dad was so focused on Mom showing up that he didn't even notice. I thought when I heard them on the phone last night that it was something they were planning for the future. This morning, Dad said it was supposed to be a surprise, and I guess I was surprised. It's going to be here all summer. Oh, you were surprised to hear that too. Cove sighed again, even heavier. I'll go with you, if you really want me to. His smile, his shoulders relaxing a little in relief. Thanks, that'd be cool. The two of you headed over to where Cove's mom had just knocked on your front door and stood behind her. Mom answered the door after a moment, her eyebrows lifting in surprise at the group she found in front of her. You realized that, like you, she would have no clue that it was Cove's mom who was hanging with you. But after blinking at the woman a couple times and looking between her and Cove, the realization seemed to strike on her. Hello there, I'm Pamela.
I see.
I see you've met my kid, Beanie, and I'm guessing you've already known Cove for a while. Kira laughed, and you and Cove exchanged looks at your parents' weird sense of humor. I'm Kira Pierce, Cove's mom. So nice to meet you. Head of purple-brown hair caught your eyes as Mom popped up behind Mom, squeezing herself in beside her. Boys, how do you feel right now? All three moms are on the screen. He's taking a cold shower. We have company. I was wondering what all the commotion was. She grinning silently. Kira. The two of them introduced themselves and shook hands.
Hello.
Hi, Beanie. Cove. Cove smiled at Mom shyly. She gathered a hand towards the living room. There's no use hanging around the doorway. Why don't you come in? I love you, but I promised to take my son out to eat and wouldn't want to hold you up with a surprise visit. I understand. You're welcome to stop by any time.
Of course.
I'll take you up on that offer when I can. Count on it. Would you mind too much if Beanie went with Cove and I? My treat. We won't be driving, just a quick walk down the road. Sure, that sounds nice.
Have fun.
I hope you all have fun. You gave your moms a look, and they smiled at you fondly. You're happy they were letting you go. You're annoyed they agreed just like that. You're happy they were letting you go. You could tell that Cove really needed the support, and you were ready to be there for him.
Marvelous.
Marvelous. Expect us back in an hour or two. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Your parents waved goodbye to the three of you as you backed up onto the street. There's the sound of the front door closing behind you. I'm pretty positive I saw some restaurants when I was in the taxi. Not too far from here. Yeah, it's a tourist town, isn't it? There's lots of them around. It was kind of strange to see Cove give someone this much attitude. If he wasn't in the mood to be nice, he generally just kept to himself. Kira put her hands on her hips and smiled at her son. Well, you sound like an area expert. Do you have any recommendations for a place nearby? Not really. Kira pounded at him a little and turned to you instead. How about you, Beanie? Want to point me in the right direction? Chuck, not really. I have a couple of favorites. You nodded. Sure, I have a couple of favorites. You've been to a lot of places in town. There were a couple that stood out from the rest. There's a Chinese restaurant that me and my family go to all the time. It's my mom's favorite. There's also a tropical themed place that tries to be sort of fancy. It'll sound like a treat. I'll leave it to you to pick for us since Cove is going through a phase over there. Cove huffed at her and turned his face away. Chinese restaurant, the tropical themed place. You insisted Cove contributed to the decision. You insisted Kira decide. You insisted Cove. It's okay, Cove. Tell us which one you want more. Mom was sulkily willing to reject his mom, but not you. Like the tropical place more. That's what I would have gone for, too. The two votes in favor of one restaurant, it seemed it was settled. We can go there. Thank you, Beanie. He can reject his mom, but he can't reject us. Will you show us the way? You nodded, taking the lead of your little group as Cove and his mom followed behind you. Here, the three of you left the neighborhood behind. The walk was about 15 minutes, and along the way, Kira asked a lot of questions about the area. It was quiet most of the time, so he ended up answering her instead. The restaurant was busy as usual, but luckily you were shown right to a small table. Kira lowered herself into the chair while Cove picked the one diagonal for her. Not facing her or to her side, it was awkward. And let's see, to start, what would you all like to drink? I'll get an orange soda. Noted. Beanie? Just water, soda, milk, juice, coffee. Soda. Which flavor? Cola, orange, grape, lemon, lime, root beer, ginger ale. Root beer. Sure. You replaced the order for your drinks, getting a black hot coffee for herself, and it didn't take long before they were brought to the table and set in front of you. Took a long sip of your drink as you looked around the restaurant. Your small group checked over the menus, deciding what to order. Last time you came here, the dish you ordered was amazing. You wanted to order something different this time. Kira and Cove didn't need any encouragement for this. They were totally focused on the information in front of them. Soon the meals too were ordered and the menus taken away. You glanced at the table surface, waiting to figure out what to say. Cove sunk back further into his seat and avoided eye contact. He started to twiddle his thumbs while acting like all this was perfectly normal. His fire feelings today were unignorable. Instead of asking more open questions, he'd brushed off. Kira had mercy on her son and instead put her focus towards you. So, Beanie, what's a few things that you're into? There's gotta be something you do for fun, especially now that you're not buried in school assignments. I spend time on art. And I go to the beach and go surfing. Oh, do you and Cove surf together? Kira looked at Cove expectantly, who mumbled something non-committedly and looked away again. And I'm really into Cove. Shall we do this? Shall we embarrass Cove? Read, watch. Games are fun. I like to play. Hang out with people. Really into Cove. Kira let out a sound, laughing. Cove gasped beside you. It was a dramatic enough inhale that he almost choked on the soda. You shrugged at the reaction. It was a truthful answer to the question. Beanie. Cove whispered at you disapprovingly, obscuring part of his face with a hand. But Kira only waved him off and encouraged you to go on. We spent time together when we cannot like it. Well, we have something in common. Kira smiled at Cove, who didn't look too impressed by either of you at that moment. And you didn't say anything else. Thanks, I had to learn more about you. There's so much I hadn't heard. Cove leaves the details out. See you soon, my dog. So what exactly did Cove say about me? You're allowed holding a hand in front of her mouth. Can't tell you that. I think I'm all this way to embarrass my son. Too much. Kids are delicate at this age. She laughed again, and he glanced at Cove to see his reaction. He was trying not to pay attention, but you could tell he was uncomfortable. Hoping it would clear some of the tension in the air, you decided to ask Kira a few questions of your own. Cove hadn't told you much about her, and you were curious to know more about this woman who was such a big part of his life. What exactly do you do for work? I'm a travel writer for magazines and things. I keep people in the loop on what's worth seeing. It's good work. Wow. What do you like to do? Where do you live normally? Are you in a new relationship now? Why did you and Mr. Holden get divorced? What do you like to do? Spend time with my little boy, of course, and traveling. A real shock, huh? Where do you live normally? Nevada. Have you ever been there? You shook your head. It's a beautiful place. Check it out if you can. I will not be asking these questions. Those seem a little iffy, especially since I'm just meeting the lady. It didn't seem to bother her that the conversation dropped off. Cove sipped his soda angrily, slurping up the remaining drink with furrowed brows. He looked ready to run straight out of the restaurant. You weren't sure if coming along had ended up making the lunch better or worse. He made a silly face at him, he smiled at him, gave him a sympathetic look. You flicked his straw wrapper at him, and left him alone. You flicked his straw wrapper at him. The wrapper hit Cove on the nose. You had to bite down on your lip to keep from laughing. It took a couple moments, but finally he cracked a smile, and that made you feel a little lighter inside.
Very cute.
You two seem really cute together. Cove covered his face with his hands and leaned back in his seat.
Seriously?
Look, Mom, why would you say that? You felt bothered too. You blushed. Thanks, we are cute. You just laughed. Thanks, we are cute. Very. Meals were delivered shortly after that, and everything was so delicious, even Cove enjoyed his food. Alright, now that we're all full and content, can you explain, please, why you had a bug up your butt all day? Cove's face scrunched at that. Seriously, baby, what did Mom do to make you this mad? I haven't even been around a full day yet. He gripped the edge of the table, refusing to make eye contact. The words he spoke were barely audible, or the din of the restaurant. You could have told me. Leaned forward to not miss anything else. Eyebrows raised. Told you what? He finally seemed to find his voice and spoke the thoughts that had been on his mind. That I wasn't going to visit you this year, that you were going to be coming instead. Didn't you invite me? You wanted me here with you. Those eyes began to shake, and his frustration ebbed. I do want you around, but I didn't know it would be like this. It's not the same. Nobody said anything. I see. Her expression grew intense. She threaded her fingers together and placed her hands in front of her on the table. We've both been gifted another Clifford surprise. Referring to that as the Clifford surprise almost caused both you and Cove to crack a smile. You also had no idea his name wasn't just Cliff. Over 5 years, nobody ever called him Clifford until now. She smoothed her hair out, not letting go of her stern look. The more things change, the more they stay the same. They let out identical sighs, but smiled weakly at one another afterwards. I can go home, Cove. We can still set up a normal trip to my place before the summer ends. His lips tightly closed together. He seriously pondered the option. I think I do want you to stay. I miss it when you're not there. My heart. Switched across the gap. Grabbing his face and planted a kiss on his cheek, Cove tried to wiggle away. Mom, stop. I'm sorry, sweet young men need to be smooched by their parents. If I don't, they'll take away my mom license. Kira was completely enthused by Cove's admission, though a tone of seriousness did return to her voice when the conversation continued. You want to talk to your dad, too? No. Cove had snapped the word instantly, but reeled his annoyance back in just as quickly. Maybe later, not today. I understand. We can shelve it. Thanks, Mom. Thank you for talking to me, little mister. She grinned affectionately at him for turning away. And thank you, Beanie. Huh? What did I do? It's easy to act like a baby with your mom. Hard to keep that up with your neighbor watching everything. Especially when you really care about. Just look at his face. Ready? Drop him, go. Why am I dropping Cove? Clifford is his dad's name. And watch. Especially when you really care about what your neighbor thinks of you. The face change. She winked. Mom! She just ruffled his hair with the left, then moved her hand down to tap. To tap the end of his nose. And that was how the issue was resolved, at least between Cove and his mom. When the three of you left the restaurant and Kira had paid the bill, you walked back to your neighborhood slowly. You had eaten so much by that time, you were beginning to feel sleepy. It didn't help that the lunch had happened late, and the sun was already beginning to descend from the sky. But eventually you reached your street. Someone was there to greet your group upon arrival. Welcome back, family, and Beanie too. Cliff. Dad. The two walked past him into the condo without sparing another word. Despite the summer heat, their shoulders were cold. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. He rubbed the back of his neck with a crooked smile, but his eyes were soft as he looked on after them. He's so much like his mom, don't you think? You gave a vague nod, not sure what he was expecting you to do. He nodded back firmer and energetically. Okay, have a nice night, Beanie. You too, Mr. Holden. With that, Cove's dad disappeared to join the others inside. It was your turn to go home now. Summer hadn't started off at all how you imagined it would have. Though it turned out to set the tone well. Having Kira in the neighborhood was a new experience for not only you and Cove, but also both your families, and a dull moment was rarely had. The intro is done. At 2 hours and 50 minutes. Of course, we probably would have been done if I hadn't gotten distracted. So there are over here, this is the Derek moments. This is where we interact with Derek. A lot. These are all Derek themed ones. Now, yes. So, I will do the soiree for right now, because this one is easy to do. I. Beep, beep. You ready for bed? Let me finish this one and then we can go, okay, baby? Yeah, that sound good? So, let me back up. So we have a soiree here and a soiree here. Because you could take either Derek or Cove. But, of course, there's an option of you just going by yourself. Now, the choice where we go by ourselves voice, there is a secret little thing that will happen. That will pave way to our step 3. If you would like to go that route of us not completely being in a romance with Cove. He just using me to stretch out right now. I like to also so, as I said before, being in a romance with Cove in step 3 locks you in for only his ending. So if we don't, we could have 3 different endings. We don't lock in a romance with. So, on that note, I will go to the story by myself so we could have a little glimpse of part 3, of a choice of part 3. And in part 3, we just won't state that that us and Cove got together. Yes, but guess what? I'm doing this last one. This last one. That entire whole intro into the second part here was like 2 hours and some minutes long. So, I'm gonna do this one just because I do like this one. It's very fun. And then after this one's over, I will write out and I will go to sleep. Sound good to everyone? Yep. And I think I'm doing it perfectly because I'm dreading my voice slightly. You well wild well whiled away the morning doing whatever struck your fancy, and now you're recharging with lunch. With nothing on the horizon, you were free to spend as much or as little time on your plate as you wanted. It was while you were thinking on all the possibilities for your afternoon that your moms approached you.
Hi.
Hi, Beanie. You okay? Mouth full, you nodded in reply. To your surprise, they both sat with you at the table. Based on the time, you had wondered if they were joining you for a meal, but neither of them had brought anything.
All right.
Great. We want to have a little chat with you. The qualifier little did nothing to downplay the situation. You're chewing slow as your eyes went, looking from one parent to the other. Anything that required both of them to talk to you must be something big. It was unsettling. You perked up, your mind full of exciting possibilities. Irritated at the interruptions, you groaned. You perked up, your mind full of exciting possibilities. A vacation, maybe? Or a pet? A revelation that they were actually undercover agents? You leaned in, eager to learn more. There's a soiree at this Caprese tomorrow night. Your ma and I are going. The Cypress was the country club your moms were a part of, and where Elizabeth played golf. It seemed like every other month they had some event or another, all with fancy names like soiree. You nodded eagerly, anxious for Mom to get to the good stuff. Mom chuckled at your poorly concealed reaction. Leaning in, Ma took your hand and squeezed it. We've decided to make the night a bit special. Elizabeth's going to be allowed to stay home fully alone for the first time. You are trying to knock my glasses off, young lady. This is not okay. You'll still be coming. She's clicking buttons. My cat, everyone. You'll still be coming to the party with us. It's Elizabeth's night to party with no family around, not yours. Sorry. Would you stop? You've got to wait a couple more years. I love you, baby. Just give me a... She just stepped all over my keyboard. So glad she didn't close anything out. Okay. You gotta wait a couple more years. That's not fair. You were disappointed by the news. Alright, I can go. What's the story gonna be like? The usual, but mostly. We wanted to make it a special night for you too, so we got something a little extra planned. That was unexpected. Interested, you listen. Your parents shared a look across the table. You cleared your throat, minding them that you were waiting. They couldn't keep dropping such hints, and then turned coy when the conversation was about to get good.
Well,
Since it's a pretty fancy party that's still chaperone, and attendees are allowed to bring a guest, we thought it might be a nice opportunity for you to invite someone yourself as a date if you want. Your eyes widened as the words sunk in. Your mom's continued, and it was struggled to keep up. Even though we'll be at the party too, you don't need to worry about us getting in your way. You'll be free to eat, dance, and enjoy the music as you see fit, but no leaving the property. Ma nodded at Mom's introductions.
isn't that great?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the party, and if you'd rather bring just a friend, that's A-okay too. That's amazing. How disappointing. You didn't know how to react. Oh, you didn't know how to react. Your parents were smiling, you clearly expecting a response, but you were still too shocked to formulate anything of the kind. You can't imagine this is where the talk was going.
Don't worry about it.
The soiree isn't until tomorrow, so you got time. Just let us know your plans before we're heading out. And that's all. We'll leave you to your lunch now. Your moms rose from their chairs in unison, disappearing to another part of the house. Barely noticed their departure. All you could think of was what had just happened. Peaches. Baby. Come here. Come here. Yes. I know. Still up. No, baby. Excuse me while I just parent my pet. Good girl now. Maybe a good girl for a couple more minutes? Yeah. You don't care as long as they keep scratching. She doesn't care as long as they keep scratching the area right above her tail. Isn't that right? Yeah. The remnants of your lunch stared up at you from your plate. You felt that you should finish eating. You lost your appetite. You were glad to go back to eating. You looked down the rest of your food, clearing your plate as you thought about how you'd like to spend tomorrow evening. I know how to scratch. Go ahead. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Even though you... Okay. Thanks for clicking on that. Glad to go back to eating. Even though you relocated to your bedroom, your head was stuck on the conversation that unfolded at the dining table downstairs. You knew that having someone to come as your friend would be best. You wanted it to be a date. You didn't want to bring anyone. It was too soon to pick one way or another. You didn't want to bring anyone. Sighing, you shifted position on the bed, resting your arms on the windowsill. A flock of birds caught your eyes and led your gaze as they crossed the sky. You watched the birds grow smaller and less distinct until they disappeared from sight. Like the snap of a hypnotist's fingers, you were released from the trance and left with a goal of your own. You were going to take a walk. Peaches. Go lay down. You ambled through the familiar streets of your neighborhood, taking your path at whim. It was as quiet as ever, with tourists choosing to congregate in the shopping area near the beach rather than venture into the sleepy residential zone. Peaches. Stop clicking on shit when you walk across my keyboard. Heading down the road, soon find yourself at the shore. Fresh, salty air hit you first, rolling to meet you over the grassy dunes that tickled your legs, followed by the familiar view of the sea stretching out across the horizon. You came to a halt. A lone figure was standing in the ocean, the water reaching up to his knees. Though he had his back to you, you recognized the familiar silhouette as Coves. It made sense that you find him here. He always was in his element by the sea. You had no idea if he heard your arrival or if it was a coincidence. When he looked over his shoulder, your eyes met. You smiled, you waved, you called out, you nervously headed closer, you confidently headed closer. You waved. Heart pounding, you thrust your arm in the air and waved for Cove's attention. Cove smiled at you, bathed in the soft light of the afternoon sun, with his hair gently tousled by the sea breeze. He looked especially charming. He then fully turned around and began to wade through the water over to the shore. You wanted him to get to you already. You could hardly wait to talk about this. You hoped he took his time to come over. You were nervous about this. You relaxed after running into him. You were alright with this. It just felt nice to have come across Cove right at this moment. You questioned whether to invite him, and if so, in what fashion. In front of you, between leaping into a world unknown or enjoying the safety of the familiar. Hey, Beanie, are you free right now? Not exactly. Moms are taking me to a soiree tomorrow at the country club. It was kind of strange. See. But you wanted to get right to the point. Sorry, how? Sounds exciting? He was smiling politely, but you could tell that your outing mentioned hadn't sparked much interest. It didn't come as much surprise to you. Formal affairs and big gatherings were some of his least favorite things. But you were sure he'd attend if you were the one who invited him. You only had to do it. Phil tilted his head curiously at you. Peaches.
She just keeps walking in front of me. I know it's bedtime. Just. You decided not to ask him out. You didn't want to force him to come. You asked him to join you as a friendly. You resolved to make it a date. You decided not to ask him at all. Didn't feel like having a guest. Peaches does love me. She wants me to go to bed so she can curl up and use my body heat, though. That is all she wants right now. She also knows my freaking nice blanket is underneath my other blanket. So if she wants access to it, I have to dig it out for her. And my best blanket is the one I stole from my grandma. Which is a nice fleece blanket that is so nice. Oh, I love it. I'll take a picture of it. Actually, I don't think it's fleece. I don't know what it is. But it's nice and thick. Know that. Perfect for wintertime. I give you kisses. Go away. Stop stepping on my keyboard! She keeps hitting the numb look. What did she press? She pressed a button. I don't know what it is. Something else is lit up on my keyboard and I don't know what it. Try not to ask him at all. You didn't feel like having a guest. Much as you like Hove, that wasn't something you wanted to do together with him. You're pretty positive you prefer staying home anyway. Yep, it's just gonna be me and my parents. Elizabeth's staying home. Oh. A beat passed with him just looking on. And then the moment passed. That's a big thing for them to let you do. I hope it's fun. The strain had gone from his smile, which was back to being genuine. Thanks for letting me know you're not going to be around tomorrow. No problem. You can get back to what you're doing now. I can tell you're real busy. That's right. The ocean's going to swim in itself. Someone has to do it. Shaking your head, you waved Cove off as he crossed down the shore. And then you began to head back home, feeling good that you had settled your plans for tomorrow. Across the threshold of your house, as alone as when you first set out, you considered the available options, limited as they were, and hadn't felt right about any of them. Playing tomorrow's event with you. At the sound of the door opening, your mom popped her head into the hall. Hi, Beanie. How's it going? I was thinking about what your mom said about the sorority tomorrow. There isn't really anybody I want to take. Your mom seemed unfazed by your decision, nodding as you came to join her in the living room. You dropped onto the sofa, comforted by the cushions that pressed into you. Well, that's fine. There's going to be plenty to do at the party anyway. It'll be a good time for just the three of us. No need to push yourself into going with anyone if you don't want to. Yeah, we'll have a great time. I don't know. This whole thing is pain. It'll be relaxing with Elizabeth there for once, complaining about everything. Yeah, hopefully she won't be so stressed over what we're wearing when she's not going to be seen with us. You pulled a face, having been on the receiving end of more than one of Elizabeth's triads about tarnishing her reputation. Maybe I should test it. Does that mean she won't tell me if I'm wearing something stupid? Don't think this means that you can wear that awful necklace. Don't think that means you can wear that awful necklace. I'll wear what I want and you'll deal with it. And the rest of that afternoon passed by just like that. Back in your room, you idly thought about the upcoming soiree. You were pleased that you didn't have the pressure of taking someone else as a guest, leaving you free to relax and enjoy the evening with your moms. There would be more chances to take someone to one of those shindigs, whether as a guest or even a date. The country club threw parties often enough. For now, you are happy to be left to your own devices. You're definitely looking forward to that big night. The evening soiree had arrived, the daylight hours having slipped by in a blur. Up in your bedroom, you're getting ready for the big event. That was your intention, at least, but you hadn't settled on an outfit. Stationed in front of your wardrobe, you scanned over the clothing you had at your disposal. The mom mentioned this event was a bit dressier than a normal get-together. You didn't necessarily have to comply. You looked for something formal. You wanted to keep things casual. Formal. You attempted to decide between the nicer pieces in your wardrobe, the ones that rarely had a chance to come out. You decided to dress formally because you felt like you had to. You honestly like dressing up. You were dressing to impress. You had to put things you owned to use. You wanted to make Ma happy. You honestly like dressing up. There is something magical about the sheen of an elegant fabric and the cut of formal wear. Something that transformed everyone into a more sophisticated version of their normal selves. To start, you decided to wear a dress, a blouse, a button-down shirt. A dress. The one he picked was light and had sheen. The silky material seemed to glide through your fingers as you took it from the wardrobe. It's a perfect fit for a summer evening party. You began to get dressed, your fingers working stiff zips and awkward fastenings. It felt different against your skin, reminding with every moment that you were dressed up. Whatever happened tonight, you were pleased that you got the opportunity to wear this. Now dressed, you gave yourself a final glance over before heading downstairs, ready to head out. Found your moms already waiting in the living room. They were putting the finishing touches on their outfits. Ma strapping her heel into a stiletto shoe, and Mom trying to fasten a bracelet single-handedly. They looked up as you entered. Oh, Beanie, you look so nice, don't you think, Pam? Thanks for dressing up, Beanie. I hope the party will be prepared for your arrival. You look sharp. Mom was still struggling with the bracelet. You lent a hand, literally by taking one side and holding it as she secured the clasp. Thanks, kiddo. Mom's eyes then flicked to the clock on the wall. It's about that time. We should go say bye to Elizabeth before we head out. Who knows, she might not make it through the night, and this will be our last chance. Mom shook her head at her wife's choice and jokes. Mom just chuckled. Elizabeth! Moments after the call, you heard your sister's feet on the stairs. Elizabeth waltzed into the room, eyebrows arched. She'd been summoned, but wouldn't be hurried. You're still here? Well, I know you're excited, but we haven't even said goodbye. I wanted to go over how things are going to play out. Elizabeth sighed as Mom began listing the rules, taking them off on her fingers. No ordering takeout or other deliveries. You can't have anyone else come over. Uh-huh. She nodded, resigned to her fate, listening to a set of rules she could predict without so much as a glance at a crystal ball. If anything happens, you can call us or go across the street to the Holdens. Keep the noise down. The house might be empty, but there are people all around in the neighborhood. Usual house rules still apply. Don't do anything you wouldn't do if we were here. And we'll be back no later than 11:30 p.m. But we'll call if there are any issues, so don't tie up the phone line all night. Right, all done. Can you go now? Ma strode over and swept Elizabeth up in a hug. Your sister let out a small noise, her eyes widening, suddenly looked much less smug teenager she acted like. You're such a big girl now. I can't believe it. Stop! Stepping on the keyboard! I still can't believe it. Elizabeth rolled her eyes. This wasn't the quick departure that she had been hoping for. Any chance of it soon? Vanished as Mom joined in the hug. Neither can I. It feels like it was only yesterday that... Elizabeth groaned, trying to cut the reminiscing off without success. You laughed and stayed well clear of the lip pile. You felt sorry for your sister. You were glad you weren't the one getting the treatment. You joined in on the hug. Mom and Ma held out their arms to you as you approached, welcoming you into the hug. Elizabeth whined, eager for this to come to an end already. Can you all just go? Jeez. The embrace finally ended as your moms unlinked their arms from your sister. Fun, we really do have to be going. Bye, sweetie. Ring if you need us. Goodbye.
See you later.
Oops. Mom bounced her fingers off the tip of Elizabeth's nose. Elizabeth wrinkled it in
See you
disgust.
later.
Take care. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye. See you in a few hours. Sorry, I needed to take a couple of drinks. See you later. If you ever leave. Now I can finally enjoy the private time I was promised. Your mom's laughed at her insistence to get you all out the door. It was pretty funny, was knowing it hurt that she wanted you gone so much. It was pretty funny. She tended to be the one who robbed others the wrong way. It's entertaining having the tables turned on her. With another brief round of goodbyes, Elizabeth seconds away from literally pushing your group out of the house, the three of you bundled into the car and set off to the party. So, Beanie, how do you want to tackle the party? Someone has to stop you from getting into trouble. I'm a lone wolf. I don't know. Can I stay with you? I'll give you two some space. I don't want to spoil the surprise. Oh boy, I didn't know if I can handle the suspense. The ride continued on with some silence and moments of casual conversation. Almost there. Have you got your dancing shoes on? Look down at your feet. The shoes were as stiff as if you just picked them off the rack. You didn't have much cause to break them in. The label didn't say.
All right.
Fair enough. He pulled up at the country club. The sun had sunk deep into the horizon, the last of its lights sleeping warmly on the oncoming night. Rums led the way to the space around the back where the actual event was being held. The place had been transformed through decoration with stark tablecloths and elegant ribbons contributing to a festive atmosphere. Musicians dressed in matching black and white were setting up their instruments and flicking through pages of sheet music. And as promised, there was a table covered in plates of beautiful food. The space itself wasn't the only thing you recognized. There are a number of familiar faces who were also regulars here. You and your parents exchanged greetings and caught up with those you hadn't seen in a while. There was a lot of cooing compliments about how wonderful you looked. Before you knew it, the sun had tucked itself away for the night. Taking its place were the hundreds of twinkling lights. The party was beginning in earnest, which meant you needed to figure out how you were going to make the most of it. You hung out with your parents, you got some snacks at the refreshment table, mingled with the other guests, watched the band play, searched for someone to dance with, sat at one of the tables. God. I say we can just go down the list. You gravitated closer to your parents, who stood off to the side of the dance floor. Ma beamed as you approached. Beanie, what do you feel like doing now? I'll stay with you two. What are you up to? Good question. We're undecided ourselves. Ma's being pushy.
Excuse me?
I'm not. We're at a dance. I wanted to. I wanted to catch up with people more while we got the chance. It's been ages. Your mom shared a look over coy smiles. Mom just you and Ma back to herself with a sigh. I think I win this development. It's not like we can dance with 3 people. Now when the songs are all for slow dancing, we can get to work. It'll be such a shame to lose this chance, especially when we can come back to see most of the people here on any old day. You had to make the most of a special occasion like this. They stared at each other again, neither budging in their position, until Ma looked your way instead with a teasing smile.
Isn't that
Sweetie, what do you think we should do to have real fun at this party? Hey, that's a leading question. Ma just laughed, flicking her hair back over her shoulder. You should have chosen a more exciting activity. Slow dancing isn't exciting. You say so now, but I know you were looking forward to dancing with me tonight when I brought it up yesterday. Never said I wanted to make small talk.
Lonnie?
Oh, you really do play dirty. Shame, my idea is still the better one for a party of 3. Mom's right. Yeah, let's talk to people some more. Mom's got the right idea. Got to dance at a party. You shouldn't fight. We've got time to do both. Very true. And since the dance floor is pretty empty, we should talk to people while they're free. No, we should be brave and encourage other people to get out there. You shook your head at the bickering. The 3 of you mingled with other guests. It felt very grown-up conversation with your parents' friends at a soiree. The light conversation, easy laughter meant that you had all the fun together. Then Ma took Mom with one hand, you in the other, and led you both onto the dance floor. You linked hands with Mom, and the 3 of you swayed to the music. More akin to a game you'd played in kindergarten than a proper slow dance. You can't help but giggle. Your laughter was infectious. Mom and Ma joined in. Your little group's dancing became more and more ridiculous as it went on. Still, it was a good time, and that's what mattered. But there was still more you wanted to do with the party. You willed away the rest of the evening with your moms. Leave the moms. You got some snacks at the refreshment tables. You moved towards the refreshment table. The food was all tiny and bite-sized, ready to be picked up and sampled by on-the-move attendees. It was immediately apparent that there was plenty to choose from, just from the level of care with which it was presented. It was clear that this was fancy stuff. The food confused you, it grossed you out, you recognized the food and didn't want it. But you didn't know what it was, you were happy to try it out. You knew what the food was and that you were in for a treat. Your eyes widened when you took in the display before you. These were luxuries. Only doled out on special occasions, it was rare that you got such a good opportunity to feast on such delicacies. Served each mouthful, marveling over the care that had gone into balancing the flavor of the tiny dishes. The biggest difficulty was knowing what to pick next. Considered each option carefully, trying to sequence compatible flavors, combinations, and taste a bit of everything. Though every so often you'd spot something that you just couldn't resist. You spent the rest of the evening snacking, you moved on to something else. You mingled with other guests, Now that the event was in full swing, cluster of people had begun to form. You felt like joining one of them, getting to know some new people. Getting the room, you spotted a few groups that looked open enough for you to approach. Besides, talked to the kids who looked around your age, a group of older people, a gaggle of young-looking kids. The kids who looked around your age. It wasn't a big group, but you figured this would be the one that you'd have the most in common with, in terms of interest, hobbies, and daily life. Wandering over, you slipped into the small circle with ease. Hi, room for one more? The other kids nodded. They seemed friendly enough. Found that most of them were in the same boat as you. Their parents had wanted to come and decided to bring them along. That is, except for one poor soul, who had been expecting a night in with a babysitter and pizza. A sudden illness and the difficulty of finding a replacement sitter last minute led to a change in plans. As a group, you swapped opinions on everything from food to what people were wearing, voicing your thoughts on what would make the event better. Despite your similar ages, none of you could agree on what the perfect party would look like. It seemed unlikely that any function would offer laser tag, snowboarding, a music festival, and pizza, at least in a little part of California. Getting chatting with the new friends for the rest of the night? After a while, you decided to take a break from your new friends and try something else. You watched the band play. Decided to go check out the band, who started playing earlier. Staying clear of the set dance floor, you kept to the side, like a position close to the band's set. Hold on. Give me a moment. I gotta check on Wiggles. Okay. Sorry, I kept hearing a noise over to my, right. And the only thing there is Wiggles. So I had to check on him. It might be just the TV upstairs going off. Oh, for, Sophie. You weren't the only one there. You weren't the only one. There were a few others stationed close by to better appreciate the music. The players were focusing intently on their craft, too busy with their performance to acknowledge your approach. They were all on string instruments, though there is a keyboard set up nearby, maybe for another song or for special request. You thought the playing was good, okay, pretty bad, good. Some was melodious and suitable for the event. The musicians were doing a fine job of keeping pace with each other, and you didn't hear any obvious mistakes. You kept watching the performance, you moved on. You searched for someone to dance with. You toed the edge of the dance floor, looking for someone who might be interested in joining you. Feeling a tap on your shoulder, you glanced behind to find a boy with dark brown eyes standing there. Ooh, I'd guess he's estimated he was around your age, maybe a little older. Are you planning on dancing? Yeah, if I find a partner. Smiling, the stranger nodded at your response. We should dance then. It's perfect timing. A new song is just about to start. You're surprised at how easily he asked you. You're flattered you felt uncomfortable he put you off. You're surprised at how easily he asked you. He simply continued to look over your face, even lifting his hand up for you to take. You accepted. You looked for someone else. You told him off. You accepted. You're happy to dance with him. You're fine to play along. You were nervous, but didn't want to be rude. Though you were nervous, tonight you were trying to be bolder. You're happy to dance with him. He took his hand in yours. The only acknowledgement he gave was a casual wisp of a smile. You suspected this was a routine for him as a handshake. The
Together you walked out onto the dance floor. The boys' stance shifted into proper form for formal dancing, confirming your earlier suspicions. He had clearly had lessons in this area, which explained his casual attitude about securing a dance. None of his bones are broken. A lot of the country club's parents put their kids in classes like that, whether it's part of a last-minute panic before a big event or a weekly extracurricular as soon as the kid could walk. You've been in some classes yourself and you enjoyed it. Did dance class regularly. You had a face of going to classes. You learned but didn't like it. Never taken classes. You took a class or two but never developed any skill. You've been to some classes yourself. You enjoyed it. From the way he calmly guided you into position, you would guess that he had been one who was enrolled in dance classes for some time. Yet you had come to the country club quite a few times over the years, and you struggled to recall seeing him before. The first note of a new song caught you off guard. You began to dance, your unknown partner taking the lead. The two of you moved to the music, and as you proved your own skill on the dance floor, competently keeping pace with the music and taking deft steps that match his, boy's eyes lit up. Bet he doesn't jet ski. You wondered what his motives for picking you were. Had the decision been entirely random, it didn't matter though. Can you stop stepping all over my stuff? Though you were curious, sort of asking outright, there was no way you could tell. Peaches! You need to stop. Hey, there. Yeah, baby. She's currently laying half on the table and half on me. Is this what you wanted? If you weren't engaged by the end of the dance, you're doing something wrong. Though you were curious, you're asking about right, there's no way you could tell. The style of dance dictated, I can speak, by the music meant that you were spending a solid few minutes in very close proximity to someone you never met before. It was peculiar to think that you didn't even know his name, but you were near enough to notice a small birthmark on his neck. She's like slowly falling asleep on me. You could just ask for his name, but he showed no inclination to talk once he'd begun dancing. While you were considering this, the song came to an end. Oh. Your hands released and you politely took a step back. Thank you for dancing with me. You have nice legs. He just said we had nice legs and then laughed. He breezed away before you could formulate a response to that unprompted compliment. It wasn't a feature you were accustomed to, people commenting on, good or bad. Don't even know his name, like he's Jesse's money. He disappeared into the crowded dance floor just like that. It was a mystery if you'd seen him around the country club again, or if this was the first and last time he would saunter into your life. But more people to dance with, you want to do something else. He sat at one of the tables. Pulled up a chair at one of the free tables. It felt nice to relax and take a load off. No effort had been spared when it came to decorations, but there wasn't much to actually do once you were sat down. You wish that you'd come prepared for this. Longingly, you thought of having a good book, drawing materials, some cards, handheld console, drawing book, drawing materials. Let's do, Petey. You have a nice neck. There was no better way to keep your hands busy than creating something with them. Besides, you thought of your pens and pencils back home. Sitting at the table for the rest of the night, you went out to find another way to fill the time. Look at that. The band announced that the next song would be their last. Though the declaration lured a few more people to the dance floor, it was still clear that the party was winding down. The number of guests had dwindled steadily over the course of the evening. The refreshment table, once crammed with plates full of food, was host to sad platters with what little morsels remain. The nearing conclusion of the story prompted you to look around for your parents. The moment you spotted them heading towards you. Beanie, there you are. Good to see you again, kiddo. Mom's had a lot to say about the evening and what you've been up to. What ring did he give you? Nothing. Thanks for spending time with us tonight. It was wonderful.
You're welcome. I saw you cutting a rug on the dance floor. Your mom said it in a joking tone. Did the boogie mime to accompany it? Yeah, I did. Mom just laughed at the reaction. Who was the guy you were dancing with earlier? I didn't recognize him. Me neither. I didn't catch his name. Oh, mysterious. He must have been a guest of a member. Or he could have been visiting the area. The press has other branches in different towns. It seemed the topic would have had to be left there. It was unanimous that nobody knew anything. How's the food? Good. You don't get stuff like that every day. Very true. Was the band lovely? There's nothing like a lively performance. Yeah, I liked it. It looked like you were making friends out there tonight. Meet anyone interesting? Yeah, I met some cool people. But I hope you weren't getting bored. Sat at the table for so long. I was fine.
Let's go.
All right then. Let's get ready to get back to Elizabeth. If we're lucky, the house might still be standing. Ma swatted your mom playfully, laughing at the comment. You cast one last look at the party. You saw people making the most of the final song on the dance floor, as well as those exchanging farewells and suppressive yawns. Peaches! Most of the faces were happy ones, despite the weariness that was starting to creep in. You had a good time. You didn't feel strongly about the event either way. You were glad it was over. You had a good time, too. In addition to the good memories you made, you felt a little more grown up as a result of attending the party. Turning away, you shelved that thought for another time as your moms led the way back to the car. You hurried to catch up to them, feeling childlike once more. Done. Now we save. And now we have a Beanie List profile. Holy crap, my throat is killing me now. Hello? Okay, my ending screen was a little weird. Who can we raid? Someone playing. Oh no. Guess what? We're the only one playing this. Sadness. Okay. I send y'all to I'll send y'all to maybe Pariah? Pariah Dragon is streaming. I haven't rated them in a while. So I could also just leave it off here. But rating is a lot more nicer. Yay! So, the last time I rated Pariah, they were playing Mass Effect. They're currently not playing Mass Effect, though. They're currently playing, Far Cry 5. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that little, story time. The next story time will be on Friday because, you know, it has to be a Friday. And I think that's the only time that I'll ever do story time. Because my throat hurts. So, story time, only on Fridays. Duly noted. But, on that note, I shall see you all next time. I should start the raid before I actually do that. On that note, I shall see you all later when I play Vilgard. Bye.